Yo, what is going on, brothers? What's going on, man? IP here in the building, in the cut. Yo, can you hear me? Press 1 in the live stream chat if you can hear me loud and clear. What is going on? What is going on? Y'all good? Y'all straight? Y'all keeping cool? Who's here, bro? Who's here? Can I get an amen? Can I get an amen? Who's here, though, man? Who's in the cut? Who ready for the gospel? Who ready for the intel? Who ready for that real talk, man? Who here, bruv? Who here, bro? Who's here? Who's here, man? Type of 1 in the live stream chat if you can hear me loud and clear. Who's here? Oh, Made City in the building, bro. What's up, Made City, man? What's up, bro? Appreciate you, man, for the kind words, man. Appreciate you, bro. Who else is here? We got a nice, incredible stream coming, man. Probably gonna be around here for like 2 hours, maybe 3, maybe 2 hour, 30 minutes, reactions, call-ins. It's gonna be a movie, man. It's gonna be a movie. Garbin's in the build. What's up, Garbin? What's up, bro? What's up, man? Who else is coming in, bro? Where my dogs at? Good evening, Bilal. What's up, bruv? What's up, man? Who else is here, man? We've got 14 people here so far. Type on 1. Is the audio good? How's my audio? Type on 1 in the live stream chat if you can hear me loud and clear. How's the audio, brothers? Type of 1. Rover Cup. We may crash out on Kick today, or Rumble, or Twitch. What's up? You know the only. What's up, Brav? What's up? Awesome. Let's get started, man. So welcome, brothers, for another classic live stream, okay? Not only will I be talking about wealth and equality, building wealth, but also I'll be reacting to some content happening this week. Audio is crispy. Is my audio bad, brothers? Is my audio bad? Okay, that must be you, Bilal, bro. My audio is clean, bro. Got some good internet over here. Let's go. So, brothers, please make sure you brothers, you please support the channel, man. You know, I've been doing this for the past 10 years, bro. Giving brothers intel on all these different countries, all these different intel, right? I'm gonna ask you to please like the video, and of course, please share my content around, tell your friends. But at the very least, man, hit the super chats if you can, and join the Patreon, man. You can join the Diamond Tier on the Patreon. I just dropped intel on Nigeria, Ghana, how to find a virgin woman in 2026, and Barcelona, Spain, freaky intel. Let me tell these brothers, right? The women in Barcelona, Spain, they are the freakiest women in Southern Europe. You want to hear that intel part 1? Go on the Patreon right now. I'm gonna post a link right now in the live stream chat. All right. If you want to hear all that freaky intel about women in Barcelona, Spain, right? Come on the Patreon right now. In regards to finding a virgin woman in 2026, so nobody count woman, that's also on the Patreon too, man. And shout out to the brothers for what they do for the channel, man. So let's get straight into it, right? So the topic of this live stream, as you can see, is wealth inequality is here to stay. How to set yourself up to be a 1%er in the upcoming years. So what does that mean? So brothers, I'll be real with you, right? The world is changing drastically. Okay, wealth inequality is growing, and it keeps on growing. Okay, it comes to a point that everyone is aware that there's a problem with wealth inequality, but no one is doing anything about it. No one is trying to tackle it, etc., etc. Governments don't care. Billionaires don't care. All right. So in the next 10, 15, 5 years, there'll be 2 worlds. Either you got it or either you don't. Either you got it or either you don't. And you don't want to be the guy who don't have it. What does that mean? You don't want to be at the bottom 99%. You want to be a 1%er. You want to be within the top echelon of dudes that got the money, the wealth, and the freedom. Money, wealth, freedom, opportunity. That's very important. And as men, as time goes by, as we're reaching 20, 30, 4 years from now, right? This is the time to actually re-strategize your thinking, your assets, and where you want to be in the next 5 years. Okay? So what does that mean? How does one make sure that they're going to be within that top that echelon of men? Now, before I even break down what you should be doing, okay, I want to talk about how I see the Western world becoming more like East Asia, particularly South Korea. What does that mean? South Korea is a ultra competitive, unequal society. Okay, you got a few companies like Samsung, Hyundai, etc., that essentially run that country. So it means that everyone is trying to work at these big companies that actually run the country, have the most money. And if you can't get into those companies or companies like that, you're essentially screwed. Okay. I see the West moving towards that kind of model. I see Google, I see Amazon, I see Apple, I see Nvidia running the Western world. Okay. And if you're not in those companies, well, good luck. Okay. You got to try and find your own way around the system. Type a 2 in the live stream chat if you're with me right now. Am I speaking facts? If I'm speaking facts right now, type a 2 in the live stream chat. I'm about to drop some game here for you brothers, right? When we talk about geo arbitrage, stocks, investments, right? Buying property abroad, okay? Having money in a Western system that grows for you to spend that and invest it in cheaper countries abroad. That is where I see the wealth system going towards to. Let's break it down, okay? Now, let's talk about current opportunities in the West, okay? Now, we know that dating and the social dynamics in the West is terrible right now, right? It's basically over. It's cooked. Okay, it's completely finished, finito. Okay, trying to find a wife in America, trying to date in America, trying to, let's say, trying to like have a family in the West is near impossible. Okay, so what does that mean? It doesn't mean the West is completely done for, right, in other matters. So what does that mean? The thing that's going well for the West and where we as brothers can take advantage of is number one, a strong currency. Number two, the ability to invest in companies that essentially will run the world in the next 5-10 years, where these companies will give you wealth to ensure that your money is always growing for you while you travel all around the world. So essentially, right, you want to have assets in the West growing for you in these particular currencies. Number one, the pound currency. Okay, the British pound currency, and I'm pretty sure the British pound currency is probably the strongest currency in the world right now, or let's say top 5, top 10. Okay, that is a very strong currency that goes far and far all around the world. Okay. Number two, the dollar currency, right? Having your money in dollars in the Western country is a very smart thing to do. If you have American citizenship, right, you should be investing your dollars into corporations and assets, right, that allow you to invest dollars inside of it. Okay. The dollar is a very powerful currency. So far, you want the pound currency working for you. You want the dollar currency working for you. Number three, you want the euro currency working for you. Okay. The European currency, the Eurozone, also a strong currency, right? Backed by Germany, backed by France, etc., etc. That currency is also a currency that can allow you to build wealth and spend that in cheaper countries all around the world. Okay, so 2 more currencies here, or 3 more. The Australian dollars, also another powerful currency. The Canadian dollar, also another powerful currency. And of course, let's say the whatever currency they use in Saudi Arabia and Qatar, and which is pretty strong because again, it's backed by oil. If your money is in these currencies, you are on the right step to making sure that you will not be in the bottom 8%, bottom 9 percentile in the upcoming years. Do you understand what I'm telling you, brothers, right now? Okay, it starts from the currency you hold. That is what will give you power, where it allows you to buck the system. Okay, so I've mentioned those 3 currencies. Now, with those currencies, right, you want to make sure they're in assets that can help you grow your money even further. What does that mean? So take, for example, the American dollar. You want to spend your dollar, right, and invest it in American stocks or American index funds. I'm dropping game for you, brothers, right here, right now. Okay, what does that mean? For example, the S&P 500. For example, Google stock. I put brothers on Google stock around 2 years ago, right? And if brothers were listening on the Patreon, and shout on the Patreon, we talk about stocks all the time on the Patreon. This is what I'm telling you, brothers, join the Patreon, right? We were talking about Google stock on the Patreon. Okay, now I'm gonna show you Google stock right now. Now imagine, right, brothers, right? Imagine you, brothers, buying Google stock in dollars. Okay, right, in an American fund. Let me share my screen over here. Okay, give me a sec. I'm gonna show you something real quick. I'm gonna show you something real quick right now. Okay, so here's an example, right, of how wealth is built and how you can actually buck the system, right, and ensure that you will not be in that group of people where you have no wealth and you can't travel, etc., etc. Let me share my screen over here. Okay, so give me a sec. So look at this right now. Okay, this here is Google stock. And I remember 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I was telling brothers, buy Google stock. Okay, buy it. Now, look at that. So 1 year ago, look at where Google was 1 year ago. Okay, Google was trading at $182 per share. Now, earlier this year, it reached, look at that, $400 per share. Okay, if we take it back even further, right? And I remember I was talking about Google around 2024, right? So around here, okay, $133 per share. If you were buying slowly over the years, but now in 2026, you could have made a nice, filthy profit, right? This is where you have to use the American system to your advantage. Yes, I know American women are terrible. Yes, I know the social climate in America is terrible. But one thing America does very, very well is wealth creation. Okay? And the inequality that's coming in the next couple of years is going to be crazy. Okay? And your money has to be working for you. So essentially, right, you won't get rich, right, unless you're earning 30K a month, 40K a month. But these are very rare jobs. This is finance jobs. These are investment bankers, and you have to be geniuses to get these kind of jobs. Okay, so the average person who works an average job will not get rich by their average job. You have to invest your money, particularly if you want to become a passport bro that is free from the system. So far, your money should be held in dollars, pounds, Canadian dollars, euros. And that money should be invested into strong assets like stocks, like Amazon stock, right? Like Nvidia stock, like Google stock, okay, like some sort of AI stock, or the S&P 500 that is growing for you in the background. Okay, this is extremely important, right? So we're going to use the Western system to our benefit in some shape or form. We know American women are terrible. We know British women are terrible. They're not wifey. However, what do these Western countries have that we can take advantage of? A first world economy, high paying jobs, jobs where jobs where you can earn money, right, from a stable income, stable job, and invest that money into Western assets. Okay, because at the end of the day, right, I'll get to there very soon. It's geo arbitrage. It's taking that money and spending it in cheaper countries abroad. But we'll get there very, very soon. Okay, so that's the first part there. Your money should be earned for you in a Western currency, and you should be investing that money into a Western asset. Now, let me show you the S&P 500. Okay, give me a second. Let me show you the S&P 500. S&P 500. Okay. Look at this. Let me share my screen. Type a 2 in the live stream chat if you're here with me, right? Because at this point in time, right, yes, the woman is important, but you ain't going to get no woman if you can't travel to these countries, okay? You have to use a Western system for your benefit. So this right here is the S&P 500, okay? S&P 500 index. So if you don't want to invest in stocks, if you want to keep things very simple, right, and very, just very casual, okay, then you want to invest in index funds, and so some of the best out there are the S&P 500. So what does that mean? Let's go even further, okay? Currently, the S&P 500 is trading at 7.575% or points, okay? Now, it is up by 30% in the last year. If you were buying the S&P 500 from 2023, where it was at 3,000, just over 3,000 per share, right? You would have more than doubled your money, brothers. What does that mean? If you happen to put 50K that year, right, your money would be worth over 100K. That's mad. This is how the elites are making money in the background, brothers. This is how the 1%ers, the guys who are traveling all around the world, right, who are partying in Dubai, partying in Qatar, partying in Tokyo, in Seoul, right? They have investments that are growing for them in the background in a strong currency. If you're spending pound and dollars in Seoul, you're basically a king. If you're spending pound and dollars in Africa, you're basically a flipping. You're beyond the king. You're a supreme ruler. Think about it, right? Strong currencies in weaker currencies abroad. That is the way of the passport bro movement. Okay, you're having assets in the West that are growing for you, right? And you're good. And the thing about the Western world is that there are certain tax-free. There are tax-free schemes, brothers. I think the Roth IRA, is that tax-free? Correct me if I'm wrong. But in the UK, you have ISAs, right? That are also tax-free. If you're pouring money, brothers, into a scheme that's tax-free for a stock, that means that you cannot be taxed when you sell that stock, brothers. So if you make profit, that is 50K profit, 100K profit from a stock, you pay no taxes when you sell that stock. That is insane. Not many countries offer those kind of schemes. I know Japan has one. I know the UK has one. I know America has one. I'm not sure about Australia or Canada. I think Canada has one as well, right? Only a few of these first world countries offer that. They're basically telling you, right, This is how to get rich. This is how to buck the system, right? 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 You know? So, brothers, now, this is only the beginning step over here, okay? So, that's the first part done. Second part here, brothers, right, is property, okay? Now, you got two ways to do property. You can either buy a property in a Western country, okay, in America, in the UK, etc., etc. But lo and behold, there are two issues there. Number one, property in America, property in the UK, and property in all these Western countries are super ridiculously expensive, right? Most people are not buying property unless they're filthy rich, come from generational wealth, or they have help with parents. The days of saving up for a deposit to buy a property is becoming very, very rare. Okay. In fact, most people are buying property through their investments that they invested in, let's say, Tesla stock back in the day. They now have money, they can buy a property. Okay. But for the most average person, they won't be able to afford a property. Number two, issue two, does it make sense buying a property in a country that you don't like? All you gotta do is complain about American women. I don't want to live in America. I want to travel. I want to live there. Okay, cool, right? So, based on where you want to live, based on how you feel about your current situation, your current country, if you don't like the country you're from, the UK, Canada, America, why on earth would you buy a property in that country? Why not use that money that you would use to buy a property for something else? Those are two main issues there. For me, it makes no sense, right, to buy a property in a country that you don't like, unless it's for business, right? Unless it's for business opportunities. Yeah, okay, I'll buy a property to rent it out. That makes sense, right? But don't just buy a property because it's a checklist thing for people in life. Buy a property, have kids, family. That's great, right? But if you don't want to live in America, why would you waste your money buying a property, especially if it's not for investments? You got to think like that. So what does that mean? Notice how I was talking about how your money should be grown in investments, in a stock, in an index fund. Okay. Over time, that money will grow handsomely, especially if you put the money that should have been for your down payment for a house, you put that into a stock or some sort of investment scheme, and that triples over some time. You now have money to buy property in most places in the world, particularly in South America and Africa, right? And Asia too. Do you see where I'm going here? So if you're a guy that likes Vietnam so much, you love Vietnam, okay? Why not buy a property in Vietnam in dollars that you've made through stock investments or index fund investments? Do you see where I'm going here? That is called geo arbitrage, right? Your dollar is so strong that you're able to buy the whole house up front, cash up front in a foreign country, where a property in America may cost you $500,000, right? That similar property in Vietnam will cost you 80 grand, 60 grand, bro. Right? Okay. So you have wealth in Vietnam growing for you via property because property does bring you wealth. Then you got money that's still growing for you in the Western country, and you're bouncing back and forth between both countries, right? That is how you start reaching that, that top 1% echelon, right? That is how you start reaching that top 1% echelon. Do you feel me? Right? Okay. That is how you start reaching that top 1% echelon. The money that's growing for you in a Western country should be money that you should be investing in foreign countries, in Africa, in the Caribbean, right? Because essentially, right, these are emerging economies. Eventually, they will become developed. That means as a country develops, as the economy develops, your assets in that country is also developing too, right? The way to build wealth right now in 2026 is by going into weaker markets and investing in those markets. I'm going to show you something that's really cool, right? Okay. AI. Let me stop sharing my screen over here, right? AI. The AI boom could have made you a multi-millionaire. Let me show you a stock, right, that even I missed out on. I was like, how on earth did I miss out on this, bro? Honest to God, like this stock right here, if you got in, bro, and put in the right money, you probably may have been retired by now, bro. Right? Let me share my screen. Share screen. Okay. I'm going to show you, right, how some people have become rich overnight. Here's a stock called Micron Technology Incorporations. It's an American stock. Okay. It's an American stock. It is currently trading at $982 per share. Okay. Basically, essentially, right, brothers, right? Look at this stuff, right? In 2025, it was trading at $85 per share. Right now, it is at over, it hits last month over $1,000 per share, right? That is a crazy return. That's a 10x return. 10x. That's 10x. So if you put down 10K in this stock back in 2025 and held it, you would have earned 100K. That's mad. If you had 20K in the stock, right, for some reason, maybe you believed in it back, let's say, maybe you believed in it a couple years ago. Let's go from like 2021, blah, blah, blah. And you kept investing over time, right? And you had like 30K in the stock. 30K, 30 times 10 is 300K, brothers. And you can buy a property for 100K in African countries, in Asian countries, in South American countries. And that means, so you got 300K, you take out 100K, tax-free, to buy property in a foreign country. You still have 200K in the stock growing for you, bro. You're wealthy. You made it, bro. And you have a job, remote income, that's just paying your bills. The money you earn monthly should be money that's just paying your bills, bro. Flights and bills, right? Your monthly income from your job should be for food, flights, and bills, right? And then some money left over for investments. That should be your way of thinking right now, brothers. I'm telling you, you have to like basically, you have to like, have a strategy, because time is flying, bro. We are basically 4 months away from 2027. We are 3 years away from 2030. What's your plan to build wealth to make sure that you are not in that bottom 8%? You want to be in the top 10% of dudes, or the top 1%. And basically, to get there, your money has to be in assets, right? Buying assets is now the most important thing you can do right now. Assets, right? Stocks, crypto, property, right? Geo arbitrage, right? Your money is growing in a Western country, and you're spending that money or investing that money in countries like Africa, in South America, in Asia, right? Which in my opinion are better places to live in and get women in than the Western world. So your money is growing for you in a Western country. You're living in Africa. You're living in South America. The dollar ratio, right? The currencies in Africa are so weak. The currencies in South America are so weak. You're basically a king there. You're spending dollars in Colombia, bro. You're spending dollars in Brazil, bro. Dollars in, like, even in Japan, right? Dollars go very far in Japan. You're a king, bro. And money is growing for you in a Western country. That is all it takes, right? Having a strategy. Having a strategy is all it takes, right? And what's your strategy, bro? What is your strategy? Okay. It's now, right now, it's all about geo arbitrage. Geo arbitrage, right? And let me try and find an article about geo arbitrage. I can read through it for you, brothers, right? But essentially, geo arbitrage, right, is like you are taking your Western currency that's very strong and living like a king abroad, right? That is the future of wealth building, bro. Right? Right now, the West is becoming more unequal, right? Basically, geo arbitrage. Wait, give me a second, right? Give me a sec. Let me try and find you something real quick, right? Bruv, I'm telling you, man, like, if you don't get this right, like, hold on, let me show you. So here we go. Okay. So the end goal here is geo arbitrage. I'm going to share my screen over here. Give me a sec. Share screen IP, share screen, share screen. Okay. So the end goal here, brothers, right, is geo arbitrage. Okay. So what is geo arbitrage? Okay. Geo arbitrage is a strategic financial approach that involves relocating to a different geographic location to exploit lower living costs and better economic conditions. This strategy can dramatically enhance personal finance management by maximizing income value and reducing expenses. Right? Let's go. So it says here, geo arbitrage is based on the premise that there are substantial differences in the cost of living and income levels across different regions. By moving from a high cost of living area to a more affordable one, while maintaining a comparable income, often facilitated by remote work. Individuals can boost their saving rates, enhance their investment capacity, and potentially reach financial independence sooner. So, what are the advantages of geo arbitrage? So, number one, reduce living costs. Living in a lower cost area can significantly decrease expenses related to housing, food, transportation, and general lifestyle. Okay, I'll give you an example. Ghana, Colombia, Japan, South Korea, right? Colombia, Brazil, Nigeria, Vietnam, Thailand. All these countries here have weaker currencies than the dollar, pound, Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, right? So basically, you can live like a king in these countries. The cost of living in these countries is extremely, extremely low, right? Improved quality of life. Often relocating to a less expensive area doesn't mean a compromise in lifestyle quality. Facts. In many cases, it might even enhance it. Panama. I've been Panama, right? Panama, uh, cheaper than the UK, in my opinion, has a much better quality of life than the UK. It's things like that, brothers. So imagine, right? You have your investment portfolio at home in a Western country, right? In a Western country, you're earning money. Money is growing for you in a stock, in a crypto account, in a flipping whatever account you have back in your home country, in dollars or pounds, and you're spending that in Colombia, in Japan, in South Korea. All you need right now is a wife, a woman, pop out some kids. You're set for life, bro. In fact, like private schools, independent schools are much more cheaper in these foreign countries, bro. Again, geo arbitrage, right? The Western world is the billionaire's playground. It's for rich Arabs, rich Russians, blah, blah, blah. Don't waste your time, bro. Don't waste your time. Boosted saving potential, lower expenses, the capacity to save and invest increases, accelerating financial goals. Facts. It's a different feeling where, you know, in your home Western country, you are only able to invest $500 per month in a stock. Then you moved abroad, you can now invest $1,500 a month in investments. That's crazy, right? That's mad. That is absolutely insane. Well, fellas, that's geo arbitrage. Cultural enrichment. Okay, it says here the strategy also offers the opportunity to experience new cultures and live in environments, enriching personal life. Are we not all sick and tired of the Western countries? Ain't ish woman, right? Crazy people. Are we not all sick of that, brothers? Are we not all sick of, the kind of women that are in our environment, right? So with geo arbitrage, not only is your money growing for you in a Western country, your money is also taking you further in a cheaper country where you're meeting great women, you're meeting foreign women, you're meeting foreign chicks in Colombia, in Japan, in Brazil. You have remote income. You're free, bro. And that's why I've been pushing IT for the longest right now. Stable career, good paying job, put that money, go abroad, travel, invest, etc., etc. You're good. You're good money, bro. You're good money, bro. Right? Bro, that's a strategy, bro. Geo arbitrage. The Western countries are over. So therefore, use it to help you facilitate geo arbitrage. Right? Use it to facilitate geo arbitrage, bro. Okay? That is how you are gonna be free. Now, let me show you some cost of living comparisons over here. Okay, hold on. Cost of living comparisons. Let's do Colombia, America. Comparison, America, Colombia. Okay, I'm just going to show you, right, just how, like, it just makes more sense to geo arbitrage, bro. Damn. Geo arbitrage, geo arbitrage, geo arbitrage, geo arbitrage. So give me a sec, right? Damn. Okay, this is perfect. This is perfect, bro. Okay, let's do a geo arbitrage comparison between America and Colombia. Okay, I know you bros love Colombia. I know you bros love Colombia, bro. Share screen, share screen. All right, so right here, right now, we're going to do a cost of living comparison between Colombia and the US in 2026. This is updated 2026. Let's break it down. Okay. This guide here breaks down the cost of living in Colombia compared to US, covering housing, food, transportation. Okay, let's go. It says here, right? Okay, the overall cost of living between Colombia and the US is substantial. According to Numbeo, a family of four spends around 1,900 per month on average, not including rents. For a single person, monthly expenses coming at about 555 before housing. Overall, cost of living in Colombia versus the USA is about 53% lower than in the United States. rent shows a wider gap, still, averaging 71.5% less than US typical prices. Okay, so let's go, right? So look at Medellin, right? This is for rents, and this is for average meal for two. Okay, Medellin rent will cost you around $700. For a meal of two is $41. Bogota, Santa Marta. So again, you see geo arbitrage, right? Knowing how rent is a bit higher than Bogota and Santa Marta, why do you want to live in Medellin or Cartagena, right? You want to live in Bogota, rent is like $500 per month. Meal for two is $36 per month. Or Santa Marta, a lot more cheaper, just over $300 per month in Santa Marta for rents. Meal of two, $45. If I was moving to Colombia, brothers, right, I'm going to pick out Santa Marta easily. Okay. Now let's go even further, right? Cost of housing in Colombia versus the USA. Okay. So for one bedroom city center, the average cost in Colombia is $450 per month. The cost in America is $1,600 per month. Are you kidding me? That's basically what 50% more, right? So again, if you're remote worker, geo arbitrage, you're earning, let's say, 5K a month or even 3K a month right in America. Take yourself to Colombia and start living there, right, and paying that much for rent. One bedroom outside city center is $346 per month, bro. Cost in the US, $1,352 per month. Damn, boy, crazy. Cost of food in Colombia versus the US, all right? So food in Colombia for one loaf of bread, $1.60 USD. In America, basically double, 3.30 USD. For milk in Colombia, it costs more for milk actually, right? In Colombia. But for eggs in Colombia, $2.44. In America, $4 for eggs. Bro. Chicken in Colombia, $6. US, $5. It kind of balances out, but I think Colombia is still cheaper for food by far. Okay. It says here, right? Restaurant prices in Colombia are much lower than in the USA. A meal will cost you around $6 compared to $20 in the USA. Bruv, a dining at a mid-range restaurant costs around $33 compared to $76. Bro, so he says here, right, cost in Colombia, inexpensive restaurants will cost you $5 USD. In America, $20. For a 3-course meal in Colombia, $33. In America, $76. Transportation in Colombia, public transportation, under $1. In America, $2.5. Monthly pass, $44. In America, $65. Constantly cheaper. Cost of key utilities in Colombia versus the USA. All right, utilities in Colombia, look at that. Look at that, brothers, right? Only $101 per month. In America, $212 per month. Your mobile phone plan in Colombia, $11 per month. $61 per month in America. Internet in Colombia is much cheaper at $30 per month. In America, $72 per month. You see why geo arbitrage is important. Median annual income in Colombia is $493 per month. What? In America, it's $4,320. You take that salary to Colombia, you're basically a king there. Is Colombia worth moving to? A move to Colombia is more about comparing prices, right? So, yes, while the cost of living in Colombia may be lower than the United States, your overall experience will depend on things like job opportunities, visa requirements, how you plan your finances. That's why you want to be earning a remote income living in Colombia or any other country. Earning dollars living in Colombia, bro, it will be a movie, right? So once again, geo arbitrage is the future and will give you freedom. That is insane. Damn. Wow. There you go. There you go. All right, so let's open up the phone lines. Call in. If y'all want to call in, please do so. Phone lines are now open. Please call in. You want to chime in. Okay. So I want to react to a few things today. Give me a second, all right? If you want to call in, brothers, yeah, you ain't gonna do Colombia, you know, like you do. It's entirely up to you. You ain't gonna do Colombia. You do what you want to do. The goal is find a cheaper cheaper place to live. What's up? All right, let me share my screen over here, okay? Okay, so I came across an article, okay, that is very, very interesting. All right. It's about an interview between a Japanese woman, right, and a reporter where she mentions how she married a guy that was much older than her, okay, and how in America they will go crazy over that, where in Japan they don't care. It says here, marriage with a 27-year age gap. Men lose social credibility, right, in America. Public scrutiny is harder in America than in Japan. A 32-year-old Japanese wife married a 59-year-old American husband talks about the surprising realities of age gap marriages. Okay. It says here, Ro Ayaka, 32, moved to the United States at the age of 10, worked in research at Harvard Medical School, and now runs Aya's Culture Kitchen, a natto manufacturing and sales company in Boston. Married an American man 25 years her senior. Okay. They asked her about the circumstances leading to her age gap marriage and how American society views age gap couples. Okay. So let's go. Right. Now it says here, right? You know, like Ayaka and her husband met at a networking event held weekly at a startup support facility run by her husband. Ayaka, then 23 years old, casually attended because the beer was free, and it was when she spoke to her husband, then 50 years old in Japanese, that it all started. However, so I think they've been dating since she was 23 and he was 50. Shout out to that dude, bro. Shout out to him. However, the relationship wasn't always smooth sailing. At first, her husband was very concerned about a 27-year age difference. Notice how she said that he was one that was concerned. She didn't care. Let me tell you something, right? These foreign chicks are built differently, right? She didn't care if it was 30 years older, 25 years older. Again, the foreign culture is different, okay? Well, I guarantee if she was American, she'd be calling her friends or homies, oh, this guy he's much older than me, blah, 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 blah. American women are very immature. They're very low IQ and they are extremely immature. Okay. It says here, every time we met, he would say things like, I'm worried about the age difference, or I'm not thinking about a serious relationship. She was freaking opposite. She was down, bro. She was down, right? It says here, Ayaka, fed up with her husband repeatedly saying such things, even though she hadn't shown him any affection, told him, I won't see you anymore, right? It says here, 6 months later, she received a call from her husband. When they met again, she said he had changed so much he was unrecognizable and he no longer cared about the age difference at all. Shout out to him. Like, I know I personally spoke about how, age gap difference. If you're older man, like there is a male peak, right? Blah, blah, blah. But I appreciate this man having the confidence to say, hey, I don't care about difference. If you like me, I like you. We're perfect. Okay. It says here, I think he came to terms with it himself. He must have thought, if I love you, that's all that matters. After that, right, the two went on dates, started dating, and eventually got married. She was down from day one. She didn't care if he was much older than her. She was down from day one. So let me give you a sneak peek here, right? I've been told in Japanese society, right, it is very common to have extraordinary age gap relationships. I'm talking 15 years, 10 years. Bro, I've been in Japan, right? And when I was there last year, right, I actually saw like older dudes with good-looking young women. I saw it, bro. Like high-class dudes with 22-year-olds, 21-year-olds, etc., etc. It's definitely possible in Japan. I can't speak for South Korea. I can't speak for China, right? I can't speak for other Asian countries. I know in Japan for a fact that age gap dating is, definitely a thing, all right? It says here, though, right? This is the funny part. In the USA, it can sometimes be the man who loses social credibility. In Japan, right, Japanese dudes don't care if a Japanese guy is 45, married or dating a 21-year-old, bro. In America, they will crash out there. That's why it is pointless dating young women or trying to get with one in America. All right. America, the women there are not intelligent. They are extremely immature. Right. It says here, right, while age gap marriages are often a topic of discussion in Japan, the situation is somewhat different in the USA. In America, right, if there is a significant age difference, the man may lose social credibility and public opinion is harsher than in Japan, right? That guy will get a lot of smoke from all groups of people, from men, these stupid ass simpish men who have no backbone, obviously from the low IQ women, right, who are 21 or 45, right, who are past their prime, hanging on older men, pulling and macking on younger women, okay? Now I understand that her husband was initially so sensitive about the age difference because he was aware of those social perceptions. That is why, right, you want to leave the West, right? It says here, even after getting married, right, Ayaka says she still receives comments on X such as age gap marriage is disgusting and she's probably just after his money. But Ayaka laughs seemingly unfazed, saying they've been together for 8 or 9 years. They don't live a particularly extravagant lifestyle. So she feels like the people around us or them are gradually stopping thinking that she's only after his money. The couple also had a prenuptial agreement. There you go. You see, like, I think I told you, bros, right? I don't care who you marry, right? Whether it's just foreign or Western, right? Always have a prenup. Always have a prenup. And if a woman says no prenup, drop her. That's why you want to be in a country where you have options. Because I get why a lot of dudes don't have prenups, right? Especially in the West. Especially if you're a brother that only gets woman once every 6 months or once every other 8 months, right? But if you're in a foreign country, right, you're well groomed, nice haircut, good hygiene, you're in shape, right, you will have an abundance of women thrown it at you. So if one chick says no prenup, you got 10 other women down in the line that will, one of them or two will say yes. They want to be with you. They know your value, right? It says here, right? Prenups, which are common in the USA when there's an age difference. Interesting. And it also includes provisions for asset distribution based on the length of their marriage and for each other to be responsible for each other's debts. While they have made practical preparations, their long-standing relationships continues to defy the scrutiny of those around them. Okay, there you go. Right now, I'll be real with you here, right, brothers? Right, like I'll keep it a buck. I want to see older men with younger women. Okay, but there are only certain countries that you're able to get away with that. You can't get away with this kind of relationship in a in a Western country. You really can't. It's not fine in the UK. It's not going to fly in America. Good luck. Probably won't fly in Canada too, right? You have to make sure you get your passport if you're dead set as a 45-year-old man, 50-year-old man, and you want a 21-year-old, 23, 22. It's possible, right? It's possible. Make sure you're in shape. You got your money right. You got your affairs in order. You're healthy too, right? You eat right. You sleep right. You think right. Okay? It's very important. There are women out there that will go for that kind of dude of that age range, but you have to work on yourself, right? You have to work on yourself. Okay? But that's mad, bro. That is absolutely insane. Like, people hating. But I'm telling you, right, once again, brothers, just make sure you have your life and your affairs in order if you want to do this age gap dating thing very seriously. There is a male peak, right? And the male peak may accelerate for you if you don't eat right, if you don't sleep right, if you don't think right, if you ain't got your money right, if you ain't investing right. I'm trying to motivate you, brothers, as to what's possible here. Geo arbitrage, age gap dating, it is very possible for you to find that woman that will date you as an older man. In Africa, very, very common to have multiple wives, common to have young women, right next to you. South America too, right? In some Asian countries, possible as well. But brothers, like, get your passports. And of course, like, who cares what anyone says? Go and get the young woman of your dreams, right? Get your passport. You got to get your passport. That's it. Paul, I can't relate, Paul, if I'm honest with you, bro. Like, I travel, bro. I travel. Like, yeah, bro, get off the internet, bro. Like, just get off the internet. Actually meet real women, and you see that, for the most part, it's like you gotta make sure you actually meet real women, bro. Get off the internet, brother. Go out there, get your passport, approach women, etc., etc. All right, so let me now. Hold on, let me bring up something real quick. Okay, I got it. Yep, there we go. Let me share my screen. So I want to react to a clip here, right, where a father left his son $10 million and left his two daughters with nothing after their mother had an affair. Okay. Now the sisters are asking their brother to pay off their $300,000 in student loans. Let's watch.
He didn't give anything to my sisters who are estranged and with our mother ever since my parents divorced. And my sisters they have asked.
Bro, being given $10 million, bro. Oh my goodness, but yeah, you ain't gonna work again. You know, you ain't gonna work. Yeah, you ain't gonna worry about no passport stuff, bro. You ain't gonna worry about American women, bro. You can just get out. Man, the way I would actually spend that $10 million, right? I put some money in investments, right? I'd have some money in my checking account to help me travel. I will never work again, right? Money will be in S&P 500 in certain stocks, but that's for another discussion. It's kind of what I'm watching.
Me to help pay their student loans because my father left them with nothing.
How much was it?
Combined, I believe they went to both undergrad and grad, so it's combined it's about $300,000.
No, how much was the? Yes, thank you for telling me that. But how much was the inheritance?
It's a couple of million. It's basically his house, his investments, and his business.
When you say a couple million, is that like 2 million or is that like 6 million?
It's in the 8 figures.
Damn.
Okay. So we're talking 10 million plus.
Damn.
Yes.
Okay.
Wow. Okay.
So he purposefully did not leave any money to your sisters because he had no relationship with them.
Facts. And you know what? Like, it's his money, it's his assets. He's entitled to actually give it to whoever he wants it to. And they're crashing out. Like, no, the bros got 10 million. Now they want 400K to spend off their student loans. Personally, I ain't doing that, bro. I ain't doing that, right? 400K is a lot of money. And, you know, like, sorry, ladies, get to work. You know, you can work now due to feminism. Pay that off yourself. Pay that off yourself. No. I personally feel like it is very disrespectful to actually give money to someone where that money originally wasn't supposed to be for them. The father gave it to his son for a particular reason, right? The wife cheated. The daughters, you know, apparently they were on the wife's side. Dad crashed out. Dad said, "Nah, this ain't right." He's entitled to give his money to us to who he wants to. If that money came to me, right, it ain't going towards them at all. There's a reason why he ain't give him nothing. Okay? So I want to tell you, like, brothers, like, make sure, like, life is so unpredictable. You can have children. You can have a wife that's foreign, that hates you, that may cheat on you. That's why I tell you, bros, it don't matter who you marry, whether she's Japanese, Chinese, Ghanaian, Colombian, whatever country, from whatever foreign country, always protect yourself. Any woman can cheat. Basically, right? You ain't got a CCTV on her every day, right? You're gonna go to work. She may be a stay-at-home mom. She may go to work. She may even be screwing your her male co-worker, and you have no idea, right? Always have a prenup. Always protect your assets. Always prepare for the worst situation. A lot of you guys feel like, oh, I got an angel here, but women change, bro. Women change, right? In fact, even children change, bro. Men are truly alone on this earth. You know, life will tell you that men are loved unconditionally by their kids, by their wives, etc., etc. So always prioritize yourself and your well-being. You owe nothing to anyone in this world, right? Right? Those daughters are not entitled to his money via any means, whether it's directly or indirectly, right? And I'm telling you guys, right, make sure that whatever happens in this world, protect yourself and prioritize your well-being and your assets, right? Because the woman you love can turn against you, okay? The kids you love can turn against you, particularly daughters, bro. Like, in the Western world, if you're crazy enough to raise daughters in the Western world, you should expect your daughters to turn against you, bro, and to always side of the mom for any BS, right? Women in the West are taught to not like men, including their fathers, bro. I seen it in my own eyes. I seen it, right? You can expect your daughters to hate you, right? If you raise her in a Western country, they feed them propaganda. Oh, male supremacy. Oh, blah, 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 blah. They feed them nonsense in colleges, bro. Oh, dad's oppressing mom, blah blah blah. Mom cheats, daughter knows she's cheating, daughter backs up mom, and you're a good guy, you're a good husband. No more, no more. So as I end this talk, right, no matter what you do, no matter who you're with, right, make sure you protect your assets and yourselves, man. Make sure you do so, please. Right? It's extremely important. Okay, so let's now react to this clip over here. Okay, so I'm going to react to this clip over here. Give me a sec. All right, so here's a clip, right? So you guys are aware that there's a World Cup going on in America. Now, I'm not much of a soccer fan, if I'm honest with you. It's not, I'm not a big fan of soccer, but obviously this is a big occasion. So we have a streamer called I Show Speed, apparently who was racially abused by Argentinians. And I'm seeing a common theme here about Argentina and black people. I believe genuinely that that country doesn't like black people. And I don't believe that it should be a passportable destination. Let's watch this clip. Apparently they're screaming some bad words towards him from what I saw on social media. Let's carry on watching.
What are you saying? What are you saying? Like, what are you even saying, bro? What are you saying?
What? She's saying some, I heard she's saying some bad words to the point where FIFA is investigating this incident. What? What's she saying? Go home? Wow. Argentina. That country, right, is looking real funny in the light. Argentina is looking real funny in the light. I'll keep her a buck, right? Like, that country is dangerous and harmful towards black people. Okay, I know I'm going to show you another clip as well, right, about Argentina that will actually shock you, right? Give me a sec. Give me a sec over here. Let me show you real quick. So on that Argentina theme, right? Here's another clip about Argentina. Like it's so bad that it's so bad in Argentina that they even like are showing like dislike towards black people on national TV. It says here, racist comments on Big Brother Argentina lead to expulsion. A contestant was removed from the show after making openly racist remarks towards a black housemate, sparking outrage and forcing a national conversation on anti-blackness. Oh my days, let's watch it.
Por favor, la negra parece.
Ahí está.
Parece
Please, the black woman looks like, what?
que recién le compraron y que venga a hacer el show.
Looks like they brought her here to be a show.
Sí.
Acaba de bajarse del barco.
Just go off the boat.
Pega el show, dice.
Borra eso. Sos
Eso no lo
mal.
editen.
Sos maldita. Mira, y el otro ahí. El otro, el monito.
Little monkey. What?
El monito. El monito del barco.
And they're all laughing, bro. That's your white woman for you, bro. That's your white woman for you, bro. That's your European, South American white woman for you. Wow.
Ahí está, el monito y la que acaban de comprar. Ahí está.
¡Ya! Te salvó, te salvó.
Parece que no escuchan, boludo. Sí. Ahí está.
There she is.
Es que la otra no sabe qué hace para caer bien.
Gracias por
La cuchillera.
Backstabber.
Gracias por... ahí estaba creyendo que así la van a salvar. Lo único que puede hacer ahora es mover el culo.
The only thing she knows is shake her ass. Wow.
A tu compañera
Associating your partner with slavery
es una ofensa
is an offense.
que no voy a consentir. Aun cuando haya sido formulada en forma de broma. ¿Saben por qué? Porque con este tipo de temas no se bromea, señores. Así como la esclavitud fue abolida hace muchísimos años, hay prejuicios que también deberían ser extinguidos para siempre. Para siempre. Quiero que sepas, Carmina, que analicé muy detalladamente todo lo que dijiste y no hay ningún lugar a dudas acerca de la gravedad de estos hechos.
Bruv.
Estás expulsada de mi casa.
Damn. Good.
Te repito, debes abandonar la competencia. Dirigite hacia la puerta giratoria en este mismo instante. Las pertenencias te serán entregadas afuera.
That's South America for you, bro. No, that is a huge chunk of South America, man. I'll be real with you. Like, and that's why I be telling brothers, right, listen, right, don't forget about Africa or the Caribbean, right? You're going to see like a lot of these things happening in the next couple of years, bro. The rise of racism, nationalism, etc., etc. But some dudes want to chase white women. They want to chase Becky. Becky this, Becky that, Becky that, Becky that. Europe this, Europe that, right? A lot of those people think like that, bro. That is shocking, right? Argentina is a country that I just can't push out for black people. I can have interviews about Argentina, right? I can get someone's perspective about Argentina on the channel, right? But me personally, I can't tell a brother, hey, go Argentina, go Buenos Aires, they're gonna love you, blah blah blah. I just can't do that if I keep a bucket. I can't do that, bro. I really can't. Knowing how they treat black people there, knowing how little rights black people there, I think it's very dangerous to go to that country. You know, I think it's very dangerous to consider going to Argentina, bro. If I keep her a buck, if I keep her an absolute buck, that was shocking, bro. That was absolutely shocking. That was shocking, right? That was incredibly shocking. You know, like let me. Bro, and it gets worse, right? It gets worse. It gets worse. There's also another one, right, about Paraguay. It gets worse. I'm going to bring it up real quick. Right? It gets worse. Let me try and find it real quick. If you want to call in, phone lines are open. Let me bring it up. Let me bring it up. Hold on. Give me a sec. Well, we have a lot to discuss here. I'm probably gonna be here for another 2 hours, but I'll keep it a buck. I have a lot to discuss. Let me try and find this real quick. Is it anything you want me to react to? Let me know now. Let me know now. Okay, so let me try and find it real quick. Hold on. Okay, I found it. Yep. Bruv, the World Cup been exposing a lot of things, bro. A lot of things, bro. Okay, so I found it. Let me share my screen. Let me bring in Jam. Yeah, Jam in the yes, let's go, man. What's up, Jam? You good, bro?
Been better, but I'm all right. Yeah,
Hey,
I just
don't tell me you
sorry,
got a
go ahead.
cold, bro. Don't tell me you got a cold, bro. What's up? You been drinking?
Nah. Why would you assume that? Oh my god, do you think I'm an alcoholic?
Yes, bro. Yes, I think you're an alcoholic, bro.
Well, you're not wrong. But anyway, I did hear. I was listening to the stream about the racist woman on the show. One, it's interesting because I can hear the transition is close to correct, like it's close, but if you speak Spanish, you really hear the emphasis, like because in Argentina, bro, and I said this before, like I remember when I was in Brazil with my friends, they wanted to go to Argentina. I think I've told you the story actually the last time I was on the stream. You know, I said, yeah, y'all can go. I'm not going to Argentina. And this video is a big reason why, because they're like racist this time. Because the thing is, they try to get us to believe, like especially in America, that racism was like a long time ago. And part of the way they do this is like when they show pictures of the civil rights movement, they always show it in black and white. When you have colored pictures, you have color photos of all that time. Now, when a photo's in color, right, you subconsciously think that it's closer than it was back then because for most of photography, things were in black and white. So when you see something in black and white, you immediately subconsciously think, oh, like this was so long ago, yada yada yada. But you have to understand, like for example, Ruby Bridges. I'm not sure because you're from the UK, so I don't blame you if you don't know. But Ruby Bridges is an icon, right, in the black community, right in the '60s, because she was one of the first girls, actually the first girl to go right in what's it called, a white segregated school, and they actually used the federal government to ensure safety, right, when this happened. This was in the '60s. The thing is, that girl's still alive. She's alive and kicking. She's like 70 or 71 or something like that. But when you see pictures of this, they'll purposely put it in black and white, so it feels like it's a long time ago that the people who were around are like dead and gone. That this was, you know what I mean? But Argentina has an even closer, like they're like racist, quote unquote, time when they tolerated it, when the government tolerated it, is even closer than America. Like it was like in the '80s, right? If I understand correctly, so it's way too close. They're trying to clean it up because they know now that it's kind of a brief containment. Like whenever people think of Argentina, they always talk about the racism. So they're trying to curtail it. But a lot of people like this woman right here, that's what they believe, and they just hold their tongue because they know that they'll be punished for it.
Mad. Appreciate that breakdown there, Jam. Nick Travels. Oh, you good, bro? Okay, can I bring you on, brother? You good? Can I bring you on? Your camera's on. Do you want to turn it off, bro? Okay, now it's off. Okay, awesome, bro. Shout out to Mr. Darius Chambers 121 for the support. They aren't making these exceptions for black men. Okay, thank you, bro. Let me bring in. That is true. That's very true. What's up, Nick? You good, bro?
Hey, what's going on? Good morning, good evening to everybody around the world. I just wanted to chime in about Argentina for a second.
Please.
So, contrary to what Jam said, I actually had a good experience when I went to Argentina. I went in 2023 to 2024. I worked remotely, so I was there for 2 months, and I did not have any racist experience. And I'm not saying that it doesn't happen. Of course, it happens. The whole world is racist, But as far as me and my experience, I had a great experience. I didn't have any racist encounters. Everybody was friendly. Everybody was polite. I went on dates with women. I had a good time. So yes, that does happen and is very sad and it's very disgusting. And I'm glad they addressed it and kicked her off the show. But that's not all of Argentina. You know what I mean? Uh, yeah.
Okay.
Dude.
Go on, Jam.
No, I was going to say, like, dude, I mean, obviously, we're not saying that every Argentinian is racist. Just like in America, right? Not everyone, in fact, I would say the majority of people are not racist, or at least not intentionally racist in America. But the thing is, they have a culture of racism, and that's the thing that, you were there for 2 months, so you were actually there for quite a bit of time. I'll be surprised you didn't see any racism in those 2 months. Maybe you've only been to the touristy places, because that's kind of what happened with me in Brazil. The first 2 months I was there, I didn't notice it, but then as I lived there for over a year, I started to see some of the racism get out. But you will see it, bro. We're just warning, because we're not talking about staying somewhere for a vacation. We're talking about creating a life there. And because there's a lot of people who are like this woman, who just covert because they're not going to show it because of the consequences, but they will show it in opportunities, them not working with you, etc. That's why people like IP and myself are just letting it be known, so that way people can make the informed decision of what to do.
Right. So, but I would push back on that, like respectfully, like friendly, and say Argentina doesn't have any sundown towns, and who has sundown towns still to this day? The states.
Oh, dude. Dude, we agree. Look. The most racist country is America, bro. I'm not going to argue with you any different. I've always said this before. I've always said this. No matter whatever you heard, whatever country you heard, the most racist country I've ever been to, more than anything else, and I haven't been to China because I think low-key China might be worse. But the most racist country I've ever been to is in the United States. So you're 100% right about that. We're not arguing about that. We're not arguing about that at all. We're just saying that there's other countries that are even less so than Argentina.
I would agree, but I would just say too to just everybody just go and see for yourself, like Brazil, Argentina, everywhere, like Mexico.
Yeah, I'm good on that. I'll let you have Argentina. I'm good on that, bro.
I would just urge everybody to just go and see for yourself. And like the world is big. We can't, you know what I mean? Like Colombia is tired of us, like DR, Brazil, like go somewhere new, try somewhere new. Peru, Mexico, the world is big, man. I would urge everybody, but yeah, like I said, I had a good experience when I went to Argentina. So, and I'm a Black Caribbean. So, but yeah, that's all I had to say.
Thank you, Nick. I want to react to another one, right, for another South American country. Video file. Give me a sec. Here's this one about Paraguay.
Racism problem.
So once again, another South American country in the news for racism that we've seen during the World Cup. Okay, this time a country called Paraguay, who have shown that they do not rock with Black people in any shape or form. Don't know why. Don't know what's happening there, but I'm shocked. Let's carry on watching.
The World Cup has a racism problem. While most of the world is celebrating the love of the game together, there are a few outliers. Argentinian fans on multiple occasions have hurled racist comments at streamer iShowSpeed, including today at Argentina's game against Egypt where one imitated a monkey. Down on the field, the Egyptian coach at one point late in the game made the X symbol with his arms, signaling to the ref that a racist act occurred that should trigger FIFA's review process, but instead the ref just gave him a yellow card. And of course, this conversation would not be complete without mentioning the treatment that the Iranian national team and its staff received by the US government. But the biggest story this week on this front, sadly, was the Paraguayan official Celeste Amaria and her racist comments toward Kylian Mbappe from France after France defeated Paraguay. I won't post the entirety of her message because it is far too offensive, and her double down afterward was even more explicit in her racism. Among the many horrific things that she said about him was that he was uncivilized, a brute, and illiterate.
She also said that he apparently sucked on coconuts, something like that. Basically calling him an animal, bro. An animal. And this is a Paraguayan official in the government saying these words like that. If a government official is saying words like that as represent your country or constituency, imagine what the average person thinks in that country, in Paraguay. These are disgusting words, bro. And he had to respond to it, Kylian Mbappe, saying that she's a despicable woman, blah, blah, blah. And then she was saying how, like, she was suing for gender-based violence. I'm telling you, man, these people are sick, bro. Like, here we are as black people, right? Living our lives, doing nothing right. And, you know, people feel some type of way when they see black men with money, black men doing well, black men successful, right? I just don't get it. You know, why is there a problem to see a successful black man? It's not harming you. It's not taking anything of your quality of life. A lot of people want to see us broke, destitute, on the street, starving, homeless, but that will not be our portion in Jesus' name. These people are sick and evil, bro. Let's carry on watching.
Rose above it. In response, he posted this, saying she was a despicable woman and unworthy of her position. From there, she tried to play the victim card by claiming she was subject to gender-based violence.
What? Low IQ? How is that gender-based violence? You're the one that racially abused him. Now you want to try and switch and say, oh, gender-based, I'm being targeted, as a woman, right? These people are sick, bro. Sick people.
And is threatening to sue. For the most part, she's been a laughingstock. French officials are now investigating her. But all of these examples are stains on what should be a month of international unity. And they're all reminders of what we're continually fighting against. Racists and bigots will use moments like this to inject hatred, to sow division. And it shouldn't just be the recipients of those racist comments or actions fighting back. It should be everyone in unison condemning it.
Wow. South America got a problem. I got another clip about South America. I think this time Brazil that I want to speak on, right? But Nick Travels Jam, what are your thoughts here on the Paraguayan woman's comments in regards to that? I'll bring it up very soon, right? Sucking on coconuts, uncivilized. She called him a colonized Cameroonian by French, colonized French Cameroonian, bro. Basically racist terminology, bro. What's your thoughts here, brothers?
I mean, you pretty much nailed it, to a T. I mean, this is an official saying this. And then the worst part is that after she was called out, she doubled down. Like she's standing on that racism, I am glad with the response that we're getting, because obviously she's pretty much been seen as a laughingstock. But the fact that an elected official has gone to this point and is saying it, and I mean, I would hope her country does something, to remove her or something like that, because it's a stain on them. But dude, Mbappe isn't even like dark skin, bro. Like he's like a mixed Cameroon. He's like a mixed guy. So imagine the dude's dark. Like she's like legit like cartoon racist. Like it's kind of crazy. Like she's legitimately like a cartoon racist. And unfortunately, we're seeing more and more of this because they don't like. It's like what you said before. When it's the world, they don't like seeing us as a whole up. They want their own people up. They don't like seeing us up.
Facts, absolute facts. What are your thoughts, Nick Travels?
Yeah, 100% unacceptable. She should be fired like immediately.
Yeah, and I feel like South America has a huge racism problem, and I think there's only like a few South American countries that are safe for black people. If you just keeping a buck here, right? Like I really feel for any black person living in Paraguay or Argentina. if you're a black person living in Paraguay, Argentina, I implore you to get the hell out, please. Either any shape or form, just get out of those countries, bro. There are just some countries that are just harmful for the success and psyche of black people in general. Like, and I'll be real with you, right? There are only a few countries where black men can actually thrive and succeed in, make money and actually do decent. It's America, UK, France. There isn't a lot, bro. Japan. I'm telling you, like the majority of the world actually does not like black people, bro. And that's why I'm telling you, brothers, like to geo arbitrage, invest your money, you know, have a community, blah blah blah. Because the world is actually really dark and cold, bro. We're seeing it over the past couple years. People's true colors are coming out, bro. Anyone want to chime in or disagree? Let me know, brothers.
No, I was curious. You know, I was going to ask you to list the countries, but it seems like you didn't list a single South American country. So I think I got my
answer. Yeah. So, like,
I can't say you're wrong. I can't say you're wrong. You know, that was the one thing I noticed when I was in Brazil, because I think I told you this before. When I first went to Brazil, I lived in Leblon, and everyone was speaking to me in English, and like I speak Portuguese. So I was confused. I'm like, okay, I'm not dressing like an American. Like I'm wearing the local clothes. Like, why is everyone speaking to me in English? Like, do they just know that I'm American? Brazil's like the U.S. Like, it's, you know, you can't just know someone it's American just by looking at them. Like, you have to kind of talk to them in order to know where they're from. So I was very confused at first, and then finally I asked someone when they were speaking to me in English, and they're like, "Oh, because no black people live here. Like, this is the rich area, you know." So then I moved to Copacabana, and that place is more mixed, right? It's more gentrified, and then there people were speaking to me in Portuguese. So it kind of just showed. I was like, okay, yes, it seems like, you know, if you're an actual Brazilian, like, because the reason why they were speaking to me in English is because they assumed I'm a tourist, which they were right, but. Yeah, it just showed to me that, yeah, if you're an actual Brazilian, unless you're playing soccer, right, as a black Brazilian, you're probably not going to do too well economically. It's unfortunate, but it's true.
Damn, flipping heck, man. Oh, man, we got work to do, man. We really have work to do. But yeah, these are our thoughts on this particular issue here. Shocking, absolutely shocking. All right, so let me bring up something real quick, right, in regards to gym culture in actually, no, here's what I'll do over here. Let me bring this up real quick. Hold on. Just want to bring up something, right? Give me a sec. Okay, so let's go. Let me try and bring it up. 2 articles. Just give me a second, brothers.
No, you're fine. You're fine. But while you do that, I just want to say there's one thing in the chat, bro. Don't let the American women get you down, bro. Like, that's why you're here, bro. If the American women don't like you, bro, just, you know, focus on getting your money up and just dip and go to a different market where you'll be treated better. Like, don't be like, just, I don't know. If you read the chat, you'll know what I'm talking about. But dude, don't just be down, bro. Like, that's not gonna solve anything.
Facts. Absolute facts. Get your passport, get a remote job like Nick Travels has, and that's you're pretty much set. You're pretty much set.
He said even he sympathized with you. Even IP, look what he's doing. Right? He's not moping or anything like that. He's made he's made a great solution. He's even helped other brothers see the way. So yeah, don't just be like, oh, you know, I'm a loser or this, that, whatever. Like, bro, you know, you're no black man's a loser, in my opinion. No black man, every black man has potential to be up. You know, we have as Pooh, I wish Pooh was here, but as Pooh would say, we have the Super Saiyan 3 genetics, bro. So use that to your advantage.
Absolute facts, bro. Absolute facts. So let me share my screen over here. Okay, give me a second. Got the article up. Let's go. Yep, here we go. Share screen. Share screen. Share screen. And here we go. All right. So I want to talk about Japan, right? And I really feel like Japan is slowly killing itself with its policies over the last year or so and its whole anti-immigration wave, okay? You can see here, right, it says, after rule change, Japan sees 96% drop in business manager visa applications, okay? Let's speak more context here. Applications for business manager visas in Japan fell 96% after the government tightened eligibility requirements last October. ISA data showed highlighting the sharp impact of measures aimed at preventing the status from being used primarily as a pathway to residency. Okay, let me show you how bad it is, right? The ISA said that it received a monthly average of about 1,700 applications before the changes took effect, compared to now roughly 70 applications per month afterwards. So after that change, brothers, right, they've gone from 1,700 applications to 70 applications a month. Now, further on here, right, it says here, under the revised standards, applicants must have at least 30 million yen in capital, which is roughly $190,000 in capital. And that's gone up from 5 million yen previously. These Japanese people changed the rules from 5 million yen that was needed at first, right? Okay, to now 30 million yen. Brav, right? Are you being serious? And it says here, right? Companies must also employ at least one full-time worker who is either a Japanese national or foreign residents with a stable residency status, such as permanent residence. Japanese language ability is also considered, with applicants expected to demonstrate proficiency equivalent to at least N2 on the Japanese language proficiency test. Business owners already in Japan must meet the new criteria or present a plan to do so, renewing their visas. Bro, it says here, right? The title requirements have affected some small businesses run by foreign nationals, particularly restaurant operators who say they lack sufficient capital to maintain their business manager status and may be forced to close. It says here, right? A study released last month found that 5% of foreign business owners are considering closing their businesses, while at least 45% expect the rule change to affect their operations. Now, I don't know about you brothers, right? But the new requirements are flipping insane. And it's all part of Japan's recent anti-immigration wave. They believe that immigration is causing all the problems in Japan, the weak yen, etc., etc. You know, the crazy working culture. And we all know it's BS, right? Because Japan, for the most part, hates fighting the status quo, right? They're very passive people. They don't protest much, right? They don't call out their politicians much. They just keep quiet. And the politicians just, they just keep on doing what they want to do, right? So now they try and find these kind of things to make people happy, right? And if you know about Japan, right, their birth rate is declining. They have a high death mortality rates. Okay, they need to bring in foreign workers from Nepal, from Southeast Asian countries to look after old people. They need more foreign investments, right? And this kind of change is going to slowly kill, right, Japan. If I'm honest with you, this is nuts. These are crazy high requirements. What's your thoughts, Jim? I know you're definitely in Japan, bro.
Yeah, it's funny that you brought this up because, I can literally speak on this because my boy had to leave Japan to this. He operated in a business in Japan. It was like a social media business. But yeah, pretty much it's like all the other rules that they made, I think I agree are common sense. Like I do think that if you want someone who's coming here and they're making a business, you want them to hire, right, a Japanese person, right? I think that's perfectly fine. You want them to be able to speak the language. I think that's perfectly fine as well. But the thing that's really killing it is what you said, the whole 30 million net. Yeah, now he told me it was the equivalent of $250,000. So maybe it's different because that's what he told me, right? They just want you to put that in a bank and just have that sit there. Which, if you know anything about investing, like especially that type of capital, where unless you're super super rich or $250,000, you can just sneeze at that. You can't just put $250,000 right in a bank account, like a low yielding bank account, and just let that sit there, bro. Especially if you're a small business owner. So I mean, I didn't see the numbers, but I could understand why 96+% of people are like, nah, there's no way, because you're just losing money if you just put it in the bank. You're just losing money. You need your money to work for you. Like, you need to invest, and that is just, I mean, that is just that's just a crazy amount. I couldn't do that. So yeah, he had to leave. He's thinking about going to Thailand. He's still there. But yeah, I actually know someone who this has affected personally. And you're absolutely right about them scapegoating. Now, here's the thing about Japan. Like I said, we know, you and I already both know that this ain't the problem, right? They are going to scapegoat this, but I'm just very curious because they're actually doing it. They're going, quote unquote, getting the immigrants out or whatever. But like I said, they had this problem before. The reason why they brought the immigrants is because they had the problem. So when they get the immigrants out, like, I want to see how Japan's going to be. Are they going to collapse? Like, I'm really curious to see how this works out. Like, Japan and Korea, like the two countries I'm really watching, because they had the whole birth rate issue, and I really want to see how they're dealing with it. Korea is kind of on doing what Japan used to do, and Japan is now kicking the immigrants out, or they're making it harder. So I really want to see. I mean, obviously, I think this is going to spell financial decay, but I'm curious to see how this is going to work out.
Damn. So, brother, your friend had to leave Japan, bro, because of the new visa requirements. Damn.
He didn't leave yet, but yeah, he's planning on going to either Thailand or somewhere else. But yeah, he has to leave. I mean, it's just crazy. I mean, he technically has the funds to do it, but he'd just be a fool. I mean, especially, because he's not a citizen there, right? Like, he has the business visa. You're not going to put most of your savings or a good chunk of your savings into an account that you're not even a citizen of, right? What if they just take that? You know what I mean? Like, what, like, it's no. Like, most people are not going to do that unless you got millions and millions of dollars. Where a $250,000 is just like, what, 2% of your income. Okay, then I can do that. But if a $250,000 is like even if like 25% of my savings, or like, something like that, like 20%, you're not going to do that because there's a good chance you might not get that money back. Especially if you're not a citizen of that country. So yeah, he has to leave because of that. Because that's how he's able to stay in Japan, is through that visa.
Damn. Wow. What are your thoughts, Nick?
Yeah, I would say the same. I just want to see what their plan would be for the population. If they're anti-immigration now, I want to see what their population. I want to see what their plan is to help the population problem. So yeah, I agree with
Dude,
that.
that's what I'm saying. I think the same thing, bro. Because like they have a problem in Japan now, right? Where the old people are trying to commit crimes so that they can go to jail and be taken care of, bro. Like, it's that dystopian where they're literally like, yo, jail is better than being out on the streets, bro, in Japan. So I'm very curious because we're gonna see, like, the reason why they brought him. If you know about Japan's history, right? They're very xenophobic. They're really to themselves. This is the first time they brought immigrants, and it's because they forced their hands. But I guess the Japanese people themselves were like, no, we're xenophobic, no. So we're going to see the first, because pretty much every other country that hasn't produced above replacement for kids, what they do is they do immigration. That's why you see immigration in Europe, you see immigration in the U.S., because all of us are not reproducing to have new kids. But this is the first country that I've seen that's actually reject immigration. So we're going to see. This is going to be a very good case study. We're going to see what happens to a country when they no longer reproduce, right? When there's more old people than young people, and then they refuse to supplement the young people with immigrants. We're going to see what happens to that country.
Do you know, let me bring in James, right? I feel like, bro, China's going to be in China in the cut. I think they're planning something, in my opinion. I feel like Japan needs to fix something, man. Like, either you embrace immigration or you die a slow death, or you start popping out kids. But a lot of like, but at the same time, they can't pop out kids because obviously, like they said, Japan's getting more expensive, weak yen, blah blah blah. The CEOs don't want to pay people more money, so greed plays a point in it as well. Lack of foresight plays a point in it as well. James, you want to chime in, bro? Something you want to say about it, bro?
Wealth inequality has always been something that is going to be part of our American society because the imbalance benefits those who are empowered too much. For example, you have businesses that are inflating the cost of their services and products so much that the minimum wage should be $20 an hour, but it's still $7, across the globe. And the reason why that is because the opposition of who we are as Black men and women will keep that minimum wage there because they don't want us to get it. And that empowers our society. That is literally how the government is being run right now. That is all they're given. As long as you're getting that, they don't care what you do to them. That is why they said they support Trump no matter what. A lot of people say, how did you get back to Trump? I said, because you're not paying attention. Okay, why would that woman rage at him, Bobby, just because he's Black? Because her brain is considerably washed. Because she believes that image of white winning binds their society together. That if a Black man is come into play and becomes the face of it, then it all falls apart. They lose their power. They lose their status. They lose their place in line. They lose everything. That's how important it is. Their brains are completely tuned to it has to be white or it all falls apart. It's like society is built on it. And she's right. It has been built on racism. But no, the reason why she believes this is because the most important thing in the world is being accepted as white. Because if you're not, you're down there. And that is why everywhere we go, people act like they hate us when they really don't. Because if you hate an entire people, you would hate their music, you would hate their food, you would hate the way they dress, you would hate the way they talk, you would hate the way they walk, you would hate the way they wear their hair, you would hate everything about them, because that is what you should be hating. Because what the hell are you, what are you hating? Just the way they look? That's crazy. That doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't. Welcome, James. I want to react to some other content as well. It's good to have James' perspective on it as well. So the next one I want to react to, right, is this over here, right? Let's go. Give me a second. So I want to show you, right, a clip here, okay, of what $1,400 gets you in Tokyo, Japan, right? And this is why I keep pushing geo arbitrage, because like this kind of property here you get in America will be 3 times more, potentially 5 times more. Let's watch. Look at that, bruv. Look at that. Look at that. One more time. Let me just show you. Look at that, bro. Entrance. High rise. Go inside. Lobby. Look at that, bro. That's some futuristic, crazy. Look at that. Look at that kitchen, bro. $1,400. Bro. Look at that, bruv. Look at that. Look at that. So now, the reason why I get angry with Japan being anti-immigration is because it don't help us as passport bros. Okay. Now, I've been Japan. Jam been Japan as well. I'm not sure if Nika and James have been Japan yet. Okay. Now, the quality of life there is complete night and day contrast to the UK and America. The food's on point. The property is on point. The cost of living is on point. The weekend in Japan is so to our advantage, having pounds and dollars. You're basically a king there, right? And the thing about Japan is that the property and rent prices are so cheap and reasonable. You're thinking this really can't be real. That right there is $1,400 for a spot like that. In the UK, that same spot is probably $5,500 in the UK, if I keep it a buck, you know? So this is what geo arbitrage affords you to do. If you have money that's growing for you in the West, in the stock accounts, in an index fund, in some sort of business, right, that's earning you pounds and dollars, right? You want to take that money and spend that in cheaper cost of living countries with great quality of life. Jam, what's your thoughts here, bro? Like, I'm sure that property right there motivates you. Like, yo, like, I gotta help Japan again, bro. Go on, Jam.
No, not recently, bro. Like the racism in Japan, I don't know, bro. I'll be honest with you. I should have hit it up when you went, like 2 years ago. I think that would have been the sweet spot. But yeah, I mean, obviously, the cost of living, like I said before, when you leave the West, especially in Asia, you just get way more bang for your buck. That's the reason I'm here in Vietnam. You can really save. You can really actually, it's kind of funny. Your stream talks about the whole wealth inequality, or this K-shaped economy. Right. One of the things you can do that could really help yourself is just get a regular job. You don't even need to get a job that pays 6 figures. Get a job that pays 60, whatever, 70K, and go to a place where your money goes further, and then you can actually invest. Because for the most part, people are just subsistence living. They're getting paid, and they spend almost all their paycheck and wait until the next paycheck. So this is a place where you can actually invest, and not live, like a hermit, like how I was doing in Miami when I wanted to save.
Facts, absolute facts, bro. James, you want to chime in, James?
It's been it's been a couple of years since I've been to Japan as well. But I do know that they do have some factors in there that I really like: affordability and safety, which is why I like Thailand so much. But there is a racist factor that it's minute, but it will be enough to make me feel uncomfortable. But I really didn't feel it that much there. But if you compare it to Thailand, then you will. Because the thing about Thailand is when you go there, you don't feel like you gotta be, extra, or you have to be part of society. And you don't feel like people are looking at you like, look at that guy over there. Everyone's treated the same. You just don't feel it. But some places that you go, you can tell that they're trying to cater to a certain clientele. Like there is a nightclub in Pattaya that they only let Chinese in. It's illegal to do that in Thailand, but they only let Thai and Chinese in.
Wait, is that club called Panda?
Yes, everyone knows about it.
I was there. I was the only black dude. They actually let me in. I didn't know the rule until later, bro. It's funny.
The thing about it is illegal. And I had always been telling myself that I was going to tell one of the Thai police. And if the Thai police find out they're doing that, they're going to be in a lot of trouble. Because Thai people know that when it comes to the Chinese are racist toward Thais. So Thais are not stupid. They know if you don't like black people, you probably don't like us either. Thais are not stupid. So at some point, they're gonna get theirs. But they don't mess around with Thai. Like if you brought a Thai police over here and pointed at them and said they were racist to me, they'll lie. They'll lie their butt off. But all you gotta do is just put on some Google glasses. That's what I was meaning to do for a while, but I just never did it. But yeah, I'm thinking I know a lot of YouTubers out there, so maybe I should tell him to do it for me. I know one dude who definitely would, because he has all the gadgets. He's got like $6,000-7,000 worth of that, probably almost like $10,000 worth of video gear.
Dude, they definitely know. They're being paid off. I mean, I went there like 2 years ago, bro. And
I mean, but you just got to tell the right Thai police. I mean, I know some Thai police out there. If you're going to live in Thailand, which I plan to, you definitely want to have a good Thai cop that you take care of every once in a while. You know what I'm saying? And introduce him to other people that'll take care of him. And believe me, they will absolutely look out for you. And One Thai police in Thailand has a power of like a top FBI agent. You know, they have the leeway to do whatever they want when they're looking for criminals. There is no holds barred. They can operate in any way. They can do all kind of espionage, you name it. They can do it. And the Thai government is not going to care, because as soon as they find out that they found a criminal, they can be like, I don't care what he did. I don't care. They can spy on you, they can do whatever they want. One Thai cop, because they have full-fledged to do whatever they need to do to keep Thailand safe. So, yeah, if you got one on the table, they can look out for you. But I knew about Japan living. But a lot of times people find that this is from what I understand, the really affordable homes like the one we're looking at right now, they're in areas that are not so attractive. But you really shouldn't be going for, I want to be around the entertainment. And that's the problem with a lot of people who travel. They only want to go where the well-known entertainment is. But real true people, real passport bro heads, they want to go where it's peaceful, it's free to live. And let's just put it where the ghost can get it. You get the girl that you want. You got the right place. You got the right safety. You have access to what you need. And the internet's good. That's very important to us, because that's how we connect with the world, because we got to maintain that. You don't really want to completely shut off because you got family. But Japan is definitely, more and more people are saying Japan is a good destination to go. But just don't expect to have that big welcoming feeling like you get in Thailand, because they're not going to do that there. They definitely won't do that in China.
Okay.
Yeah. Chinese got good looking women, though. I'll tell you that.
they do, but for the most part, they don't rock with us. So it's like
no,
they don't, bro. I just keep it a buck. So it's like, what's the point, man? Like, what's the point? Like, chasing after Chinese chicks that they don't rock with us for the most part, bro. Most colorless nation on earth, and we don't rock with them too. All right, so thanks for that breakdown. So let's go on to the next one to react to. Let me stop sharing over here. Okay, there we go. Let's move from studio. So here's one that's really funny, right? That I'm sure you guys will love. Let me share my screen. Video file. So
brown men.
So we have this is funny because we have an Indian woman, right, who's clearly into brothers, right? I think she's in Canada, right? And she's saying how brown men have jealousy towards black men, and she's ready to discuss that and expose that, right? An Indian woman speaking on that. Let's see.
So funny to see brown men in the West is shitting on my comment section because I went on a date with a black guy.
Oh my goodness, bro. I'm telling you, the comment section nowadays on Twitter, Instagram is disgusting, bro. Things I didn't see like 5 years ago is out in the open, and it's really like eye-opening to see just how racist people are. That they hide it very well. They could be your co-workers. They could be someone you even know personally. So just watch your back and be careful, because especially as black men, people have some weird stereotypes like against us or about us that that makes them really, really mad. Let's carry on watching.
You guys be listening to Drake 24/7. Like, you guys are all vulnerable Drakes. Like, your hairstyle, a lot of these things are so Drake coded, right? And you guys would at least have one high school love interest you lost to some random black guy, because obviously in the West, women prefer black guys more in the dating market.
Oh, okay. Oh, wait. So number one, right? I agree that like a lot of like non-black dudes like they consume black media, but at the same time don't like black men. For example, like even in Japan, right? Like you're gonna see like dudes who have dreads, right? Dudes who have afros, right? Dudes who like dress like black streetwear, but they don't rock with black dudes, bro. They look at you weird, like yo, bro, you're just in my culture, bro. Like or black American culture, right? You're acting funny around a black American dude. That don't sit right with me, bro. And I've seen that happen in Japan like quite a few times, right? And like they see you with a Japanese chick, they give you a stank eye, but these guys are dressed in all black, or let's say like a black attire, not black attire, but like black culture clothing, right? It's very weird, bro. And like she's saying how in the West most women prefer black men. I disagree with that. I strongly disagree with that. Unless he's a supreme black dude, 6'5", chisel jaw, football team, basketball team, perhaps yes. But the average black guy's been in the North and the West, bro. Anyone agree or disagree? Come on, let's keep it a buck. Maybe go on, James.
The funny thing about Indians, one thing in Seattle and San Francisco, Indian women are attracted to black men. And I do seek them out. Whenever I'm in San Francisco, I don't really tell people more. One of the reasons why I like San Francisco because of the Indian women that I have access to, and the Indian women I have access to in Seattle. Seattle is Indian women and white women that like black men, but they don't like the thug type. If you go in there with a thug head, but we're not related to. There's no reason to mention them anyway. When we say women like black men, we're talking about dudes like us. Okay, and they like muscles. Indian women do like muscles on black men, but smarts. Being smart will absolutely get you a very attractive Indian woman, especially in San Francisco. They do not like dumb men. They really don't. But it's crazy that the kind of men, the Indian men that she's talking about, will have a problem with seeing her with a black guy, right? And the black guy will be their complexion, okay? And they will be dressed like the black guy, talk like the black guy, or trying to talk like the black guy. It's very hard for Indians to mimic the way we talk. They will try to talk like us, use our slang, listen to our music, move like us, and literally try to be black altogether. And because they don't want to see her with a black guy because they hate black guys, right? But then when they see her with a white guy who hates them, despises them, forces them to bleach their skin, tell the world that they think their women stink. That's a known thing around white guys that they say about Indian women. Tell people that their women stink and that they're like easy. They disrespect the hell out of India. They call them grease monkeys.
Keep it colder, bro. Keep it colder, bro.
Okay. My bad. But yeah, that's the case. And they'll say because of the culture. Let's name a white country, Germany. There is absolutely no aspect of German culture that's even remotely similar to the culture in India. None. But there is some similarities to what some countries in Africa are similar to the ones in India. For starters, our poverty comes from the same source. Okay? Our origin of life comes from the same source, that melanin. Okay? The way we centralize with our people, well, originally is some similarities as well. Stuff that's important, how we came about. And we have been harmed by the world of the other side. It's pretty much the same way. But the only reason why they didn't enslave a lot of Indians because, as everyone who's known in history, they said Indians make horrible workers. They're weak and they fall apart very quickly. We are like engines. Okay, that's why.
Jim, I want to continue watching this clip. Hold that thought, please. Let me just finish watching this clip.
And you're still not over that trauma. And there's other group who fantasizes black women. Like I have heard brown men talking about how attractive and beautiful black women are. You would date them in private, you would sleep with them in private. But when it comes to marrying and settling down, you mama's boys don't have the balls and would end up in some random stupid ass arranged marriage bullshit.
Wow, she's calling them out. Damn.
And now your brown sister openly admits that she's open to different cultures and you guys just can't suck it up. Like, buddy, you wouldn't even have balls to stand up for your love. Okay? So stop shitting here.
Damn, it's like, so they want to gatekeep, right? And feel free to chime in, Jam and Nick, right? For example, like, a lot of dudes of other races will sleep with women of other races, but hate when other groups of men get with their woman, right? But I've noticed that with black men, right? Black men don't really care what BWs do, right? Like a BW would be with a white dude, right? For the most part, black men don't really care, right? But vice versa, white dude's gonna crash out if he sees his blonde hair, blue-eyed sister, with a Tyrone, right? It's funny how like we are very lenient, right, towards what our women do, but a lot of men want to gatekeep their woman. Like even Japanese dudes, South Korean dudes, they'll get mad if they see like other groups of men, right, be their woman, right? Yeah, you see a lot of white dudes with Asian women, right? But a lot of Asian dudes ain't happier about that, What's your thoughts, Jam and Nick, on this clip?
This is actually very easy to explain, right? Like I said, when I was in college, most of my friends were Indians because that's just who, does engineering, like whites, Asians, and Indians. And so it's actually very easy to explain this, bro. It's because of the caste system, right? They have this caste where essentially the lighter you are, the better you are, and the darker you are, the worse you are. That's just how it is. That's why, So that's the reason why,
Colorism.
like,
I said colorism, but go ahead.
Yeah, well, it's a little bit different because it's not really, but it's different. Like I guess that's the closest term we'd say in the U.S. But the caste is a little bit different in the sense that like it's not even a preference. It's like they believe like it's an ingrained right, like kind of low key like royalty, like through bloodline. You know what I mean? So this is the reason why, right? For example, because Indian women are known to go after white dudes, right? And when this happens, right, they have jealousy, but they're more so like they wish they were white. So like they're not, of course they don't like the white dudes being with their woman, but they feel like they low key, they're not gonna say it, but they feel like, okay, the white dude's better than me, so they allow it. You know what I mean? But then they they have seething hatred when we do it because in their caste system we're supposed to be worse. So we're supposed to be the bottom of the bottom, right? So when we take their women, it's like an offense to them because they feel like their blood is better than ours because they're lighter skin, etc. So this is the reason why, like if you notice, right? When a white dude gets their woman, right, it's. I mean, of course they don't like it, but it's a completely different feeling than when a black man does it. Because with a black man, they literally feel like we're at the bottom because of the way their caste system works. And so when we're not, like when we show that, okay, no, we're actually cool, then it becomes a problem. And the thing is, they're actually cool. Like they'll acknowledge your efforts and your feats with everything else, but there's just certain things that they feel like the caste, right, system should apply to. And one of those things is like marriage, like women. And so the fact that you as a black man is able to get with their women, that really riles them up like a lot. And I've already told stories previously about me with the Indian woman and how the Indian men act. So I've in previous streams, but yeah, that's really what it is, bro. That's literally how it works.
Yeah,
there you go.
I would
Nick.
say, a lot of like other nationalities and races of women secretly do want to date black men, but it's just not accepted, in their community. So I think that's a big issue, like worldwide, actually.
Actually, this is what I said on the Indian stream because I remember, IP was saying that Indian girls don't like black men. I'm like, no, you have to understand, bro. They have a lot more to lose because their men are the most racist. You know what I'm saying? So like, even white girls, they do this thing too, but they've had longer to assimilate with us, so they care a little bit less. You'll find white girls who are willing to date black guys, but even with them, they get the mark. They call them the M word or whatever. You know what I mean? When they find out. In fact, there was even I forgot a comedian who made the joke where he's like, "You date a white girl," and eventually asks the question, which is pretty much, "Have you been with a black guy?" Because they don't want a white girl who's been with a black guy. So you have to understand, these women take hits, bro. So even if they like you, it's like, okay, if I like him and I date him and it doesn't work out, I have to live with this mark for the rest of my life, or I gotta hide the fact that I've been with him. This is stuff that women gotta calculate for, bro. You know what I mean? So it's not even just attraction, bro. It's also the fact that like, you could be like you could be the best dude in the world, but if you're just trying to have fun and you hit it, and now she's marked like that forever, she's forever seen as lesser because she got with one of us and it didn't work out. You have to understand from her perspective, like some of them are not going to take that chance. Now, as you see, when they have more time to integrate in society, more and more of them are like this woman, where they'll just take the chance. But especially in the beginning, they're like, okay, I'm not going to jump that bridge, right? Unless I know for a fact I'm going to be able to stick that landing. You know what I mean? Just to date a guy casually. Like, no, like if they're like, okay, I'm going to go with the black guy, I need to know that it's going to be marriage, kids, and I got to assume all the risks that come with that. But now you're seeing because they've had more and more time, and also because, I don't want to, just say straight up, frankly, Indian men in America, for the most part, only date their women. So I think the women are kind of realizing that. They're like, okay, even if I do this, like, who else are you guys going to date? You guys really only have us. So, Indian women have more options in the dating market. So they're just like, yeah, I'm just going to do what I want. And even if it doesn't work out, I'll be able to come back to my men because it's either me or nobody. So, yeah.
Awesome. Great breakdown. All right. So let me now react to another one, right? Give me a sec. Let me share my screen. So here's a story, right, that pretty messed up, but I want to make a point out of it. Give me a sec.
Manhunt still under.
All right, so this is a pretty messed up story because it's a brother apparently that is responsible for the deletion of his own family, right? Based on apparently the wife filed for divorce. Let's watch the clip first.
An international manhunt still underway to find Mark Schumer, the 45-year-old who police believe killed his wife Zandale and daughters.
Damn, flipping hair. That's, oh man, damn. What?
Natalie and Nala, found at this Bedfordshire home. Now, Mark Schumer, caught on camera at Heathrow on Saturday, now believed to be in Zimbabwe. Police in that country, though, telling the BBC they've had no notification from Interpol that he is there. There's also no formal extradition treaty between the UK and Zimbabwe, meaning getting anyone back from that country could be a long and complex process. A sense of how difficult this investigation could be for Bedfordshire police.
Wow. So to give some context here, that man apparently deleted his family. Okay. He flew to Zimbabwe. Apparently his wife filed for divorce. He lost it, deleted his whole family. Now, man or woman should never delete anyone, right? In that manner, in any shape or form. Absolutely no, it's disgusting, right? Deletion is disgusting and evil, right? But I want to make a point here. Key point here being divorce. Okay, I believe that he crashed out because of the divorce and because a lot was at stake here. His money, probably had no prenup, probably had no trust. She was probably gonna take him to the cleaners, bro, if I just keep her a buck, right? And he just lost it. Now, lesson here for dudes, right? Okay, before you make any rash decision like that, any sort of moves like that, right? I'm gonna tell you, actually, before you even marry a woman or get with her, get a prenup and protect your assets so that you don't crash out like this and basically end your life and be in prison for the rest of your life, bro. It's not worth it. Okay, whoever you marry, whether she's foreign, domestic, whatever, right? There's a chance that she may want to file for divorce. It's just part of life. Okay, women change throughout the seasons. It's part of life. LeVar Ball's wife filed for divorce a couple of weeks ago. Okay, it happens. Okay, so before you marry a woman, you must protect yourself. Always think about what could go wrong in your marriage. A lot of dudes, right? They simp. They see a pretty face. They lock it down. Not thinking about she could change on you any minute. She could cheat on you, or she could just say, "Hey, just don't want to be with you anymore." Divorce, and you're a man that has worked hard your whole life by investments, a great job, property, etc., etc. You need to make sure you protect yourself and your assets in the event that she could divorce you, whether she's foreign or not foreign, just so you don't crash out like this and end your life, right? His life is over. If he actually did it, he'll be in jail for a long time, blah, blah, blah. It's over. Jam, Nick, what's your thoughts here?
Yeah, I agree. I think marriage nowadays is very tricky and complex, and it's very risky. Jam?
Yeah. I know I shouldn't be laughing, bro. I'm sorry. Yeah, that dude took his vow seriously.
Damn.
No, let me stop. But what I'll say is this: I don't agree with you on the prenup, bro. Like the prenup doesn't protect you, bro. Like it protects you like in a way that like a bulletproof vest might protect you. It's not foolproof, bro. You know what I mean? Like you can't have a prenup where it's like, oh, if we get divorced, she gets nothing. Like that doesn't exist. You're gonna have to give her something if it gets divorced. You know what I mean? It's just about how much. So this is the reason why I've always said before, like I'm very iffy on the whole marriage thing. Like I'm not saying it's a definite no, because I do believe marriage is good for children. Like I'm glad that my parents are married. But bro, you're taking a huge risk, you know. Yeah, this dude, you know, you're seeing a lot more stories of things like this, where where the woman, does a divorce, and the dude's like, you know what, I'm gonna make you adhere to your vows. You know, you said till something do us part, so I'm gonna make sure that you adhere to your vows. Like I was serious about those vows. But yeah, I mean, I think it's unfortunate, but I think you're gonna see more of this, of stuff like this. In fact, I don't think I know. That's what the stats are showing, right? Because the laws are just unfair to men, and men know this, but they still take the risk. And so they're like, you know what? If I'm not like, if the laws are not going to be favorable towards me, like if they're not going to be fair towards me, screw it. I'm gonna do what this guy did. Now I extremely don't condone. I mean, I don't condone this, but I extremely don't condone what he did to his children, bro. I mean, bro, leave the children out. I mean, they're your kids, bro. Like that is just wild. Like I never understood the kid thing. You know what I mean? At least with the other thing, I'm not gonna say I understand because I don't, but I can maybe somewhat understand, right? The dude crashed out, but I just don't understand the kids. Like I don't get that. I mean, yeah, that doesn't make sense to me. But you're gonna see more of stories like this if the laws continue to be this way.
But you know what, too? I think people should just do more and more of like kind of a religious marriage where like the government, like the courts, not
Doesn't work. Doesn't work. There's no marriage in the U.S. where the government's not gonna get involved. In fact, you can live with a girl and not get married, and they'll still deem you married in certain parts, bro.
Well, I
Like
mean,
everyone has tried everything. They've tried to do this whole thing. Let's get married without the government. It's not possible, bro.
are you referring to
It's like driving and saying you're not a citizen. You ever heard of like those sovereign citizens in
Yeah.
America? It's like doing that. Like I'm a drive, but I'm not a citizen. Like no, dude. Like if you're driving, you're adhering to the laws on the road. It's just there's no way to get around it, bro.
Let Nick finish his point. Fire, Nick.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe some sort of just like getting married but without signing paperwork, if that kind of makes sense. Just having like a ceremony and like, okay, a marriage ceremony, but not having the government involved and not signing any paperwork. But I hear what you're saying, Jam, as far as like common law, like still counts, and stuff like that. But I don't know about other countries if you can just have like a private ceremony and not sign paper. I don't know. But maybe that's an idea.
I feel
I'm
like
sorry, I didn't hear you because your mic was low. I apologize. I didn't realize I was speaking over you. But by the way, that doesn't work either. If you have any type of ceremony where she could convince the government that it's some sort of marriage, bro, you're screwed. Like everything you're saying, this is like people have tried this for decades, bro. It doesn't work. Sorry, go ahead, Api.
I think there's situations here, right? Three points here. Number one, get married in a foreign country where the laws favor men, or the laws are not like out of control. When and lean towards women. Number two, when you get married in a foreign country, protect your assets any way, shape, or form. Prenup, trust, right? Any sort of scheme that will protect your assets. Number three, right? I feel like try and find a woman who's not down for game, who doesn't really care about marriage but wants to have kids with you. But a lot of women will not get married if you don't want, if you plan to have kids, So a lot of women will refuse to get marriage or get married to you outside of having kids, outside that marriage. So you have to get married to have kids. So it's very tricky, especially in traditional countries. And that's why I see why a lot of men go for liberal women. Because a liberal woman who's titled up, piercings, right? I doubt she gives a damn about marriage. She'll just pop that box for you, have a kid, your boyfriend, girlfriend. And we see it throughout the West, it's like just pray that things work out in your favor, man. Because like we don't want to have the wrong woman that, you know, makes us crash out like this. God forbid, bro. God forbid. But this kind of story should actually for you to learn from it. Like protect yourself any shape or form. If a woman is against prenups, don't marry her, bro. Don't date her, don't marry her. End it and move on with your life. Okay. So shout out to Mr. Darius Chambers for the support. Taiwanese, Hong Kongers, Chinese, and Singaporeans don't like us. Wow. That's why we need a first world country, bro. And that's why I was telling brothers, right, listen, it's better for black men to go after dark-skinned Asian chicks, Filipinas, Vietnamese, etc., etc. These pale-skinned Asians, 50-50 on them, bro. Shout out to Jairus Temis for the support. There's a video of a Mexican-American police officer saying she hates all of us. There's also another video of a white cop saying he'll fake up evidence of us. My goodness. Shout out to Darius for the support again. Appreciate you, bro. Massachusetts cop Michael Proctor and Sean Goody. I'll look into that. Thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Right, so let me share my screen, right? Let's see over here. Share screen. Let's go. Video file. Let me react to this one over here. Okay. So we got a brother, right, who's looking very happy with his Asian chick. I think she may be Vietnamese. Jam can correct me, but I think she's probably Vietnamese. And he's saying, listen, man, like, you only have one life. Like, go out there and find the woman of your dreams. I notice how she's foreign, right? Again, more men are now picking foreign women over Western women. Let's check it out.
Guys, don't make your life harder by choosing a woman that acts like a man.
There you go.
You gotta pick a woman that's feminine in her own character, somebody that shows and radiates love, because those are the type of women that are gonna take care of you and make your life an amazing experience for the rest of your life. You only
There you go, man. And notice how, look how feminine she's acting, bro. The smile, she's touching him, hugging him, etc., etc. You want a woman like that, right? A feminine, submissive woman that's always on your plan and is down for you. There's a lot of women out there, right? Okay, and you go through trials and tribulations. You go through failures. You go through, you know, dates where it didn't work out. You thought she was the one. Blah blah blah. All you gotta do is find that one woman, right, out of the millions of women out there that is destined and waiting for you. And it's very much possible when you get your passport.
get one life. So why would you choose the woman who's acting like a man? And
Who's that woman that acts like a man? Or group of women, Jam and Nick? It starts with A, ends with N, right? It's in North America. What country is that? What country is that?
Britain. No,
what? that to America.
Don't act like y'all women are different, you know.
It's true, bro. That is very true. That is very true.
like you just
Be the
Wow.
man who makes your woman feel safe, protected, compliment her, make her feel beautiful in her own skin, and then she'll always be able to find peace and comfort in you and actually trust your words to genuinely, like, she loves the most authentic version of you. So if you can give her your essence, your protection, your love, she'll be with you forever.
Wow. Oh my goodness, that voice. Brothers, Nick, Jam, right? First of all, what are your thoughts on this clip? Are they speaking facts, right? And does that make you want to get with an Asian woman, or you're gonna keep it black and get your Afro-Latina or African woman that's like her? Break it out for me, Jam and Nick. Damn.
I'm actually, I mean, yeah, very, very sweet, very, polite, very soft. I can see the feminine energy, but I'm actually dating a Mexican woman right now, and it's going pretty good. So yeah, I don't need to go to Asia right now. So I'm having a good time.
Is she in Mexico, bro, or is she Mexican American?
Yeah, I live in Mexico.
Oh, nice, bro. Awesome. Go on, Jam.
I might need to. Oh, I need to talk to you. I did not know you were residing in Mexico. But no, actually, yeah, the girl looks good. All that, everything. I mean, everything they're saying is facts. But I want to say, notice the dude, right? Notice the dude, right? The dude goes to the gym, bro. The dude makes sure, right, he was his best man, right, and that's why he was able to get in a relationship with this girl. Right. Obviously, so it's not just him like coming out looking crusty, whatever. Like obviously this dude is he put some effort into his appearance, right? And that's how he's able to get with a woman like this. So yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Obviously, I mean, why would I not agree? Who wants a masculine woman? I mean, like come on. I mean, maybe there's some guys out there, but I don't think the majority, especially people who are on this stream, want that.
Facts, bro. Facts. And you know what? Like, that's a very good-looking Asian woman, right, with a dark-skinned black man. Wow, I'm surprised. Normally a woman like that, she's with either a white guy or Asian guy or a light-skinned person, but she's with a dark-skinned brother. You never see that in the West, bro. An Asian woman like her with a dark-skinned black man. Once again, like getting your passport is very much possible. Go on, Jam. You want to see something, bro?
I'm not that surprised, brother. The dude, no homo, he's put together. He's built, bro, and he can get a girl like this in America too. Like, dude, I know that Asian women don't like us, bro, but even I got with a couple Asian girls in America. They were the hardest for me to get, but even I got them, bro. Like, it's not like it's a impossibility, bro. Especially if you look like this. Like, he looks better than most men. I mean, I don't think it's that difficult for him, especially because he got it with himself with the foreign chick. But even in America, he could have gotten a girl like this. It's not. I wouldn't look at him like, wow, how he got her, if the girl was American, you know.
But no, hold on. But you're telling me like in America, it's possible as a dark skinned black man, Asian complexion, to get a Asian woman like her. But are you sure, bro?
I'm not quite
in the
Akon,
UK,
bro, but I'm dark skinned. I'm dark skinned, bro. And yeah, I mean, I did it. Like I think I still got photos of me doing it back in college. Yeah, it's definitely possible, bro. Like especially if you're just gunning for them, yeah, you could definitely do it. But for me, I will admit, they were the hardest for me to get. It was much easier for me to get white girls, Latinas especially, right, Indian women. But yeah, you can definitely get an Asian girl, especially if you look like this. If you're in shape, bro, there's gonna be, like I said, Asian girls, they like it. It's just that there's other factors that are involved, that we've talked about previously. But yeah, I don't think this is atypical. I don't think he had to like leave America in order to get this girl. It's easier because he left, and the girl's probably more feminine for that as well. But I wouldn't look at this guy like if the girl was American and think, oh, this is weird. Like I would not think that. No way.
Thoughts on that, Nick? Any experiences of Asian women as a brother yourself? Is that something you're into, brother? Or you more into that?
Yeah, actually, I do have one. Can you guys hear me? Oh, good.
Loud and clear.
Actually, yeah. So actually, when I was, because I used to be in the military. So when I was stationed in South Korea, this was like years ago. The second date I had with this Korean lady, right? And I was like, what, 19 at the time? So I was like blown away. She took me out on a date. Like she took me to a restaurant, and I'm gonna just fast forward the story. Towards the end of the meal, right? I get out my wallet to pay, but turns out she actually like beforehand arranged, like she paid for everything beforehand. And I thought that was very sweet, and I was just blown away because I was like, no way that would happen in the States. And it was a very decent, nice place. It wasn't any like place on the corner of the street, like it was a nice restaurant. So yeah, but besides that, I don't really, because I've been in ever since then. I've been in Latin America, so yeah, that's my only experience.
Awesome. Yeah, Nick, it's like you're having a great time in Latin America, bro. Man, like I want to hear more, bro. So I'm gonna drop my IG in the private chat. If you want to reach out, brother, and chop up with me, bro, that'd be awesome, man. But lovely seeing you, brother. Remote work, being free, that's awesome, bro. Remember my IG in the private chat. Feel free to send me a DM, bro. Let's chop it up, bro. That'd be great. I appreciate it. Alrighty. So let me remove that. So I got an article here. I want to bring up something, right? In regards to something real quick. Let me bring up, what's the other clip? Okay, here it is. Yep. Okay, found it. Okay. Okay, so found it. Yep. Okay. Okay, let me share my screen. No, let me get a clip of it. While I do that, anything else in your mind, Jam, Nick, you want to talk about while I bring up the clip?
Or Jam,
I want to
you
hear him
wanted to
about
ask me a
Mexico, bro.
question about Mexico?
Yeah, I want to hear your experience about Mexico, bro, because I have a friend of mine, a Mexican American. He's been begging for me to come here, but I'm like, there's no black people in Mexico, bro, and I heard Mexico's kind of
What?
dangerous.
There's a ton.
Where are you? I'm like, oh my god, dude, you need to do a stream. You need to do a stream of Mexico because you actually live there. Black American living in Mexico, 2026. I feel like that's stream worthy, right?
So, Jam, I would just say Merida. I'll just say that right off the bat. Merida, Yucatan. Huge black community. And then, of course, Mexico City, another huge black community.
¿Tú hablas español? ¿Hablas
Yeah.
español?
Sí.
Oh, ¿cuánto tiempo llevas aprendiendo español? I mean, how long have you been learning Spanish?
Casi 3 años. Pero aprender en la calle.
English, brothers. English for the audience.
Okay. I'm sorry. Let's see. I mean, sorry. I was just curious. Okay. All right. So I really need you to do a stream, bro, especially because you speak the language. I speak Spanish as well. So I want to see, like, you're a black brother and a friend of mine. He's been really trying to convince me to go there, bro. And I've been like, nah. And I was actually going to go one time. But if you remember, they, what was it? The cartel, they attacked an airport.
Mm-hmm.
Like the day I was going to buy tickets, I was like, you know what? Nah, bro. I said, nah, I'm not going for the rest of 2026.
Right.
So I really want to hear your experience. Were you there when that happened? Were you in Mexico when that happened?
Yeah,
You heard
man,
that story, right?
Yeah, man. I live here. I live in the city that it happened.
Bro, okay, yo, you need to do a stream on this, bro. I need to hear your experience.
Okay.
If he's down, I'm down, bro. I'm down, Nick.
Yeah. Why not?
I'm super down for that, bro. Let me share my screen. Hold on. There we go. Give me a sec. Okay, so here we go. Okay. Share screen. Share screen. I'm hungry, man. I don't know about should I do a cheat day today? Damn. Well, I'll speak on that later with you, brothers. Jam
Don't
this
do it,
on me.
bro. Don't do it, bro.
Oh man. Okay, so here we go.
To bring you now.
All right, so I want to talk about a clip here in regards to an actor called Michael Ward, who I'm not sure if you heard about it before, but he's very popular from a TV show called Top Boy. Okay, a very popular UK show that went viral in America several years ago. Okay, he's been found not guilty of the R Act. Just keeping it PG over here. Okay, let's watch it and let's give our thoughts here.
Breaking news to bring you now. And the BAFTA-winning actor Michael Ward, who is 28 years old, has been found not guilty by a jury at East London's Snaresbrook Crown Court of 2 counts of rape, 2 counts of assault by penetration, and 1 count of sexual assault against a woman who claims she was attacked in a Mercedes car in January 2023. Let's bring in our arts and entertainment correspondent Katie Spencer about this. And Michael Ward, quite a well-known name, actually. I think he featured in Top Boy on Netflix, amongst other things, and found not guilty on all charges today.
Yes, and it didn't take the jury that long to return that verdict, actually. I think most people would know him from the Netflix drama Top Boy. He played Jamie in that. He had been accused of 2 counts of rape and 2 counts of sexual assault by penetration, as well as 1 count of sexual assault. All of the charges that he was facing. These claims were made by a woman that he'd met at a nightclub in East London back in January of 2023. We are told from our producer who's in the court that actually Michael Ward is in tears in court hearing that verdict come back. He is a BAFTA-winning actor who originally found success as a model, best known for starring in Top Boy, but also had appeared in Sam Mendes' film a few years ago, The Empire of the Light. Clearly very emotional to hear the news. The trial itself had lasted a number of weeks, but he has now we have had confirmation that he has been cleared of all of those charges that he's facing.
Damn. All right, so let's unpack this, right? Number one, there's a reason why we have a legal system around the world. When he was charged, when he was arrested, people were saying, "Oh, he did it," right? And that's why, like, you know, thank God for the law. Thank God for we have lawyers, we have a legal system around the world where, you know, your life can't be ruined by just like, oh, accusations, oh, because he got arrested, or because you know, someone said he did it, right? Now he's not guilty, and this is a black man that now has to rebuild his life, bro, because that accusation sticks with you for a long time, bro, especially in like the entertainment industry, you know. And it's very likely that he didn't do it, you know. But we know how Western women are, right? They actually no, we know he didn't do it, right? He's been proven innocent by the law, by all facts considered. He didn't do it. Now we know that now, right? His career is finished in the entertainment industry. And this is why I tell you guys, right, you know, be careful of these Western women. In fact, any woman around the world can accuse you of this act. That's why, like, make sure you vet a woman very, very well. She's not crazy, right? Make sure you don't promise, like, you know, all these things to her and then you ghost her, because a lot of women are vindictive, right? They are vindictive. Okay? When you bring women into your life, vet her very, very, very well, whether she's foreign or not foreign, right? But this is primarily a Western thing, bro, if I keep a buck with you. These Western women, right, okay, particularly these W women, keeping it coded, WHI, just keeping it coded, right, against black men, it's a common thing they love doing towards black men. Jam, Nick, keeping it PG, what are your thoughts here, bro? This is just sad and absurd.
Yeah, I think this is it's a very common theme with you know, black men, and well, not just black, I think men in general, but yeah, just, you know, men in the limelight, you know, with status, like famous men, and, you know, being falsely accused of this, like Johnny Depp. What was that other black dude? I forget his name, but this is very common. So I would just urge everybody just to be, even like Neymar, the football player. I would just, yeah, even him. Yeah, I would just urge everybody to be careful, because this is very serious, and it can really ruin your career. You know, like just the accusation itself can ruin your career. You know, so yeah, I would just urge everybody to just be careful.
Facts. Jam, James, what's your thoughts, bro? Keeping it PG, of course.
Dude, I did not know this happened. Yo, I love this show, bro. I watched Top Boy, bro. I'm not gonna spoil anything because, you know, for anyone who hasn't watched it, go watch it, bro. It's a really good show. I actually discovered it in Thailand. But yeah, I mean, brother, I'm glad you mentioned this, bro. Dude, the punishment is the process. Even though this guy has been found innocent, bro, he's lost. I don't even want to curse, but he potentially lost a lot of money, because I guarantee he didn't get booked on any shows or any modeling gigs while this happened. Because, you know, it's like, even if he's innocent, they don't want to touch it until, quote unquote, he's cleared. But then even after him being cleared, there's always going to be people who believe he did it, even though he's been found innocent. I mean, this is just unfortunate, bro. But you know, the whole like vetting women, bro, dude. This honestly, my best bet, obviously, besides I think this guy is not a dumb brother. I think he's pretty smart, right? but you can just get got, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Especially if you're living this lifestyle. Like, if you don't have a wife, if you're, I mean, he's young, he's 28, famous, well known, especially in the UK. If you're just talking to women, right, and it just takes one woman to be vindictive, and you can't really vet for that, bro. I mean, like you really can't, to be honest with you. Like, besides the most obvious triggers, you really can't vet for that. So you just have to like pray at this point. And I'm gonna tell you right now, even though he's been cleared, this is gonna stay with him for the rest of his life, bro. There's still gonna be people who are gonna call him this, even though he's been cleared, and it's just unfortunate. But this is the risk that you take. It's so unfortunate, bro. I didn't even know. This is like breaking news to me. I didn't know that this happened until now about this guy, because he's a really good actor, especially if you watch the show. Wow.
Facts. Wow, I know, bro. It's very sad, man. Like, he had a promising, hopefully he still does, but a promising career in the acting industry. He was in a film last year that did very well. Man, like, hopefully, like, his career comes back, bro. Because like, it's just very sad how these Western women can just ruin your life based off accusations, bro. Fortunate James, keeping it PG, of course, brother. Don't go too ham.
Yeah, when it happens to us, it's triple fold, and it sticks, and they run with it. Because I don't know if you know it, but there has been numerous men who don't look like us who have been found guilty of the unthinkable in the United States, and they walked. Everyone knew it. It was publicly known that they were found guilty, and they walked. There has been 5 cases of child unthinkable in Colombia. There's been more in Brazil, but publicly, and yet still they have not shaved one fraction. Well, actually, some has been shaved off. Let me not exaggerate. Off of their image and their standing as social, their social status in Colombia and in the United States. There is a Teflon Don thing, and that Teflon Don is about the same exact thing. When it happens to us, we talked about it all the time. As the whole YouTube social circle started to grow. I'm not going to say movement because it's stupid for me to say movement. We've been doing it. I was doing it before, the internet was invented. As far as the use of it right now, I mean, it was invented a long time ago, but before it became like this big thing that everybody uses for what they use it now, in the early 90s, going all over the world, but it's now it's utilized for everything. And because of that, when this guy gets hit with that, you guys are right, absolutely right, that it's going to stick on him, because we all know that we're constantly belittled, we're constantly attacked for things that they created in their own head about us. For example, in China, they have a huge hate for us, and they've been nowhere near us. Like, where did it come from? Where did it come from in India? I mean, you got people in India that don't really have access to the internet. They've even heard about us, never really seen nothing about us, never met one of us, and then come out and have the starchest hate for us and know everything about those other ones and the atrocities they did to them. They know it because it's in their history books. They learned about it in history in both countries. Of course, I mean, it's been the culmination of everything that their foundation right now is built on, because they had to come from it, but still, no matter what, we're the ones they hate. So yeah, if this happens, you better believe. I mean, if that guy was, did you know about the big, I think he was American or French, I'm not sure, but I believe he was American. They filming him. He's on film with I think it's a 9.
Well, bro, we gotta keep it PG, bro. All right, we're gonna skip past that, James. Sorry, man. We can't go too ham on this, bro. All right. All right. Thank you, James. Yeah.
I thought I was cleaning it up though. I mean,
Nah.
it's
All right. No, James. Next one to discuss, man. Just so we don't go too deep into it, bro. All right. So let me
Wait, hold on.
now.
Can I say one more thing that I forgot to say beforehand? Dude, look what happened to Johnny Depp, bro. Was it Johnny? Yeah, him. He was cleared, still never got his role back in Pirates of the Caribbean, and he's white. So yeah, this is gonna stick.
Facts, bro. Absolute facts. All right. So let me share my screen over here. Right. I have another article here. Share screen. Share screen. Okay. So here's a really crazy article I came across this week that I want to hear your thoughts on, brothers, right? It says here, men's average testosterone levels have halved in the last 50 years, say scientists. What? Researchers warn of a major crisis in male reproductive health, partly driven by obesity and diabetes. Let's break it down, brothers, right? Men's average testosterone levels have halved over the past 50 years, according to scientists who say society is facing a male fertility crisis. Whoa. Total testosterone levels in men declined by 54% between 1972 and 2019, according to data presented at the annual meeting of the European Society of Human Reproduction and Embryology in London on Tuesday. Rising levels of obesity and diabetes are expected to play a part, but the team behind the work suggests that environmental factors such as endocrine disrupting chemicals, which can be found in various household items, and global heating may also be factors in the apparent striking decline. Whoa. It says here, I think that we have a major crisis in male reproductive health, and it's currently not given enough attention. We have saw an over 50% decline in total testosterone over this time period. That is a lot. It says here, right? The relationship between male testosterone and health is two-way and complex. Testosterone regulates sperm production, sex drive, helps build muscle mass, build bone density, and plays a role in mood, energy levels, and metabolism. Whoa. So does that explain why a lot of dudes nowadays, right, are just playing video games, have no ambition? A lot of dudes, right, like don't really care for dating and all that stuff. Is it due to low testosterone? What's causing it really? Is it microplastics? Is it a lot of men don't take their health seriously? Now, as men on this panel, right, what are your thoughts here on this groundbreaking article? Fire away, anyone.
Dude, it's mainly obesity. Like the overall majority of this is caused by obesity. I mean, you're right with microplastics and all that stuff, but if you take like healthy, fit men of 2026 versus healthy, fit men of 1976, you're going to see a very small, you're not going to see a 50+% decline. What it is that over the past 50 years, the obesity rate has climbed tremendously as well. So this is mainly an obesity problem.
Interesting. So you're saying that a lot of men, right, are not looking after their health properly. They're eating fast food. They're not going to the gym. Can we blame them, bro? Like, you know, we're bombarded with like imagery of McDonald's, KFC, donuts, cookies, right? More than healthy food. In fact, you have to go out your own way, actually, brother, to meal prep, to cook your vegetables, like to drink water every time. Where we walk into the shop in Walmart or 7-Eleven, right? We are bombarded with all these colors of sweets, candy, bad foods. Can we blame men, right, for being obese, brothers? What's your thoughts, anyone?
I mean, you came to America. You saw the difference. Like, you thought it was bad in the UK. Like, America we have food that is like completely illegal, like in other countries. So we have toxins in our food. It's crazy. I mean, in some ways, yes, but in other ways, no. Like, the thing is, I do believe that you are responsible for your choices, but the thing is, we're a product of our choices and our surroundings. You know what I mean? Yes, we can make better decisions, but when our surroundings are so bad, I mean, there's a reason why they have data and statistics and, people make money off of that, because they know that eventually people are going to succumb to this. Like, if all you have in front of you is fast food or really, disgusting food, and the only food that you can afford isn't so healthy. It really isn't. I'll be honest with you. It doesn't make an excuse for you being fat because you can always just eat less. But in terms of like eating healthy, good food, bro, yeah, it's not only is it more cumbersome, it's also oftentimes more expensive as well.
Oh no, that is facts, right? You're absolutely right. Eating healthy is more expensive and everything. Right. No, let's keep it a buck, man. Let's keep it a buck. And like, but it's funny how, like, I'll be honest with you, right? A lot of like me now being more healthier, more fit, more leaner, right? I don't see a lot of dudes like me. I don't see a lot of dudes who are in shape. I see a lot of dudes with, with flabby stomachs, dudes who have no muscles. Like, it really is a lifestyle, right? To be fit, to be going to the gym several times a week, to be eating healthy. And is it laziness that a lot of men aren't on this time, or do we blame society as a whole? What's your thoughts, James?
Well, I cook and I don't eat out a lot. Everyone knows the kind of foods that'll make you look like crap. So I always look at people who look like that and allow themselves to get overweight, knowing that women seek men out who are fitter and slimmer. It makes you look younger. They just don't care. And I don't get into deep conversations with anyone unless you look me dead in the eye and you look at me and you tell me that you actually want me to let you know that I think you're overweight and you probably should stop eating the crap. And you'll hear someone, like, they'll see that we're fit, right? And I'll be sitting there drinking a soda or drinking beer or, eating, crappy food. And you say, well, first thing, you got to stop eating that and, hit the gym. And they look at you like, yeah. You can tell that they're not going to listen. These people don't care. It's easy to have access to really bad food. But the first thing you got to start doing, more than anything, is you got to start cooking your own food and don't eat processed food, and drinking water, etc. I mean, there's a short list of the basics that anyone can start doing, but they won't. And they think that the good food, the healthy food, is not that good, but it's actually not true. You just got to make it good. But people just don't care. They don't care.
Facts. Is that down to laziness, James, in your opinion?
It's 100% down to laziness. I go to the gym 3 to 4 times a week. Lately, it's only been 3, because when I do go to the gym, I hit it hard. So my muscles are beat up a lot. And at 50, you don't need to go to the gym 5 days a week, because you're going to have to eat a lot more protein and your muscles being beat up more. And the older you get, the harder it is for your muscles to recover. So in reality, when you get my age, you really only need to go to the gym a couple times a week. And as soon as you start getting towards 70, all you think you need to do is grab the dumbbells, move them around a little bit, and hit the treadmill, and you're good. Or just do air squats every morning. I do 200 to 300 air squats every single morning. Right before I get in the shower, I do like 200 to 300 air squats, depending on how I feel. If it really burns me out and I only do like 220 and I stop. Because I don't work my legs in the gym that hard, only like maybe 1 time a week because my knees from the military. So it's not that big of a deal. My legs are great. But you really don't, it doesn't require, your body does not require you to do a lot of extreme exercises and food cutting in order to get in shape. And everyone knows that when you do this, you just look better. There's actually vitamins and things you can do to make your skin look better. I mean, these people don't even go to the dentist and say, get your teeth right. And you already know that if your teeth are bad, I don't care what else, everything else could be amazing. But if you got bad, rotten teeth, you can forget it. I don't care if she looks like prime Halle Berry. If she smiles and she's got bad teeth and bad breath, I'm out. And I've done that on dates. I can't even think of a few girls that actually decided not to talk to because her breath was bad. But seriously, it really is. The routines are simple, and people know they're eating like crap and not going to the gym enough. They know it.
Facts. No, great breakdown, brothers, man. Let's hope more men start taking themselves seriously, particularly as men who want to become passport bros. Like you being out of shape, you being dusty looking, in where you go abroad won't get you any chicks. So men, let's get those testosterone levels up, eat more healthier, go to bed, earlier, sleep right, eat right, think right, hit the gym, etc., etc. We can't have men looking sloppy out here, man. We really can't. So here's another interesting article, right? That I want to share with you guys, right? Like, oh my days. Like, okay, so let me share my screen over here. Share screen. Okay. Let's go. So I've got an article here, right, of a very interesting story. It says here, Nigerian man arrested for aggressive taunting in Kabukicho. I love you, right? So Kabukicho is a place in Shinjuku in Tokyo, right, where a lot of shady things go down there, yakuza, paying for bucks, etc., etc. And unfortunately, right, Nigerians have built a bad reputation for themselves for aggressive taunting, trying to get people into clubs, blah, blah, blah. And obviously, that's not good for the black man's image, particularly in a very homogenous country where it's majority Asian, right? And I don't know why they do that, but that's for a separate discussion, all right? It says here, Tokyo police have arrested a Nigerian national for aggressively soliciting passerby in Shinjuku's ward, Kabukicho red light district. With a spate of reports coming from foreign tourists regarding rip-off scams in the Kabukicho area, police are stepping up enforcement in the area. According to police, Wanduku Sylvester Ekena was taken into custody on the 9th after he grabs a person's left hand on the street. What? And persistently pressured them. He allegedly lured the victim saying, "Not scary, I love you, 90 minutes for 5,000 yen. Are you kidding me? What the hell? Upon his arrest, Waduku partially denied the allegations. I just shook hands, he reportedly told investigators. Police called the suspect red-handed. Officers had been on high alert and patrolling the neon-lit district following a surge of complaints from foreign tourists regarding aggressive street touts. Police are continuing their crackdown in the area, estimating that total financial damages from malicious taunting schemes targeting foreign tourists in and around Kabukicho have ballooned to nearly 100 million yen. I don't know why black people are doing these kind of activities in Kabukicho. Now, I've been Japan myself, right? I've been Tokyo, I've been Kabukicho, not to do any bad things, but just to tour the area, walk through, right? And I did see, like, unfortunately, brothers, right, doing that. Hey, come in here, blah, 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 blah. And it's not a good look towards foreign people, towards Japanese people. We have to be mindful of our image. So I'm happy that Japanese police are cracking down on this, man. Because I don't know why a lot of brothers are doing these kind of things in Kabukicho and in Tokyo. Jam, you've been in Japan, same as you, James. I want to hear your stories about, have you actually seen this happening? Have you actually, been told, hey, come in here? Fire away, Jam.
Yeah, I've actually seen this in pretty much every Asian country I've been to, unfortunately. Yeah, if there's a brother, especially if they see you and your brother, yeah, they're going to solicit it. I didn't know that it was illegal in Japan, though. I thought that this is just kind of the hustle culture. So I guess, enough people complained and he found the right one. But yeah, I've also noticed the same thing that you've noticed when I was in Japan.
And that's why, like, a lot of like Western black people differentiate themselves from Africans. And I guess what, I don't blame them. Like, you go to like these countries in Asia or whatever, right? A lot of like black Americans, black British people, black Canadians, they say, no, I'm not African, especially like if they're in Japan or whatever, right? I know we're all African by blood, right? Through lineage, right? But I can see why a lot of brothers go by nationality. Oh, I'm black British. Oh, I'm black American. Oh, I'm black Canadian. I don't blame them, because I like in Asia, like Africans don't have a good image, bro. They don't. They really don't. And they need to stop behaving like this for the most part. What's your thoughts, James? Because it's getting ridiculous, bro.
I really haven't experienced. I don't think I've experienced it to the end extreme. I can't really talk on that too much. But I do know about the image of Africans throughout Asia is kind of created more than actually being produced and influenced because of action. It's just that, like I was saying before, it only takes a couple to do something stupid, and a lot of times when they do something stupid, it's really stupid. But as far as extreme, I don't know. But you do know that in both Japan and China as well, and Korea, they don't get hired. They don't get loans, and they don't have access to resources the way others do. Therefore, they're forced to, to create their own income, and there's only a short list of ways they can do that. So they end up in the position that they're in. But more and more, what they're producing is being, considered acceptable in China as well. More so China than Japan. That they like the stuff that they make, and that they're looking to hire them for mediocre jobs. So it's really hard to survive out there. And I do know that one of the reasons why they go there is because to them, the Africans, it's a better opportunity, and that they feel that they would have a better life there because they don't have to worry about crime. Many people who go to these countries are escaping crime, and they feel that the racism that they're going to deal with is not as bad as the crime in the countries where they come from. In some cases, that may be true to the individual, because it's all about the individual. You really, it's unfair to talk about it in the whole if you are having a conversation with one of them that are sitting here with us. Like if we have one on the panel, their responses are going to be about their own lives. And I always talk taking that consideration. I could be talking about 10,000 people, but I'm speaking as if I'm considering their own individual experiences. Because I do know that as a whole, especially when it comes to Africans in these countries, even though their experiences are different, their reasons are different, when they go there, the reasons are similar because of what they're going to get. And what they're going to get is what I just spoke about: the opportunities, the safety, and the peace that they can live in their own communities. Because what's also true is that the communities that what these Africans live in Japan and China and Korea, they live in a peaceful. They don't really. There's not a lot of crime there. Because if they committed crime, they'll make it a big deal on the news. It'll make, they're like, look at the Africans, look at the monkeys. So it's true. I mean, they're looking for an opportunity to say, hey, look at them. So they live in a peaceful, Check in effect had gone when he went, I believe he went to Japan, and he went to the African community. Because trust me, if Check in effect knows about an African community, he's going to go. I mean, that's the accumulation. That's the big thing of his channel. I want to show y'all the African communities, the Black communities in these countries. And they have it, and they don't really, they're poor. They're poor, but, they don't live in a hostile environment like we do in the neighborhoods we grew up in. Nothing like that. There's not even remotely close. They may have some conflict, but that's normal. But That's the. I mean, they there's really no way around it. But some of them do manage to find the resources to go to school there, and they get educated. They have become doctors. They have become engineers. There's many of them shoot up in success, but still, even then, it's hard for them to get employment. But someone else who doesn't look like them can show up mediocre and get like the best. I mean, just because you look like that, you can get a job just standing there and be a placeholder so they can show people that, because to them, when they have them there, that means status. And you just get hired just to show up. No education at all.
Thanks for that breakdown, James. Again, you're gonna keep it coded, man. The M word use, man. Let's not say on YouTube, please.
I don't think that's it, but I got you.
Thank you, man. Okay, so let me just see. Okay, is anything else anyone want to talk about? Anyone want to call in? I've been here for 3 hours now. James, you good? Anything else you want to chime on, brothers? Like about a country or whatever? James, what are your travel plans, James?
Well, I'm going to Thailand in 2 weeks, so there's that. But I also wanted to say with James as well, like, bro, honestly, now that I think about it, they're not the only ones who do this. Like, you go to Vietnam, you go to Thailand, they like the way that they're describing what this guy did, like they always do that. You know what I mean? It's just kind of on you to be like, nah. Now, maybe he pulled him. I don't know. Maybe he's too aggressive. Or maybe he's perceived for being aggressive because he's African. But this is like very commonplace in Asia. So, now that I think about it, I'm kind of a little sympathetic towards the guy. Like James kind of made me reevaluate my opinion a little bit.
But thing is, right, I get it, right, but once again, our image is at risk here. Because again, if it's like a small group of Africans doing it, right, and it's only them that are in that country, right, and they constantly see them doing bad things, bro, and there's no other black people to contrast the good to the bad, people are going to assume that, like, oh, he must be a part of that group of Africans if you're black, right? And I'm just sick of just how like people who are black, right, are not conscious about other black people. So as to what you're doing could affect us image-wise. I get James' point, right, but at the same time, I do think it's quite selfish to be doing these kind of things, knowing that it could affect good black people, and we may be grouped in with them, bro. I'm sorry, brother.
Dude, I get your point. I mean, that's exactly how I thought originally, but honestly, James kind of changed my opinion on this because, it's not only Africans doing this, though. A lot of them do it as well. It's just that when they do it, they're not lumped in as every Asian person's doing it, right? They're
it's their country, James, bro.
I know. I agree. I agree that that's the case. I'm just kind of understanding, like, I think that people are doing this. They don't have a choice. I mean, that's kind of what James is getting at. So it's like, yeah, it's bad, but like, we say, oh, they're selfish for doing it. It's like, okay, well, are they just supposed to starve? Like, they're trying to make a better life for themselves as well. I don't know. I mean, it's tough, bro. It's tough. I'll be honest with you. I think we're speaking from privilege here.
In my opinion, right, if you've been invited to a foreign country, right, before you go there, make sure you have money to go there. Number two, if you really want to integrate there and live there for a long time, learn the language. Number three, learn the skill set that can help you get a job there, right? If you're not thinking like that, just don't go there so you can do some criminal stuff, right? And try and like work with the Yakuza and blah, blah, blah. I'm sorry, bro. Like, come on. Study, learn the language, learn the skill set, apply for roles, keep on pushing, work a normal job, right? But a lot of these guys want fast money, bro. Let's keep it a buck. A lot of these criminals want fast money, right? They don't want to put in work to actually learn the skill set. They want fast money. They want the thrill, blah, blah, blah. Let's keep it real, bro. If you've been in the country for 20 years and you ain't learned the language, right? And you ain't learned the skill set, okay, now what are we really doing here? You couldn't learn IT? You couldn't learn anything science-wise, mechanic-wise, construction-wise, bro? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me, brothers? Let's keep it real here now, man.
I don't know if I agree with you on this, IP, because like, yeah, I mean that's easy for us to say because we're young, bro. But like if you immigrate at 50, even if you want to learn things like IT, bro, I'm gonna tell you right now, IT has like an ageism. Like they're not gonna talk about it, but there's a certain point where if you're like a new person learning how to code and you're like 45 or 50, they're not gonna take a chance at you, bro. They're not gonna hire you, bro. So it's really a young man's game for a lot of professions. Like you can't just decide up at 50, let me learn something new.
So working 7-Eleven, working a convenience store. When I was in Japan last year, bro, I saw had old people working in convenience stores, bro. But I'm not saying like it's everything I'm saying is right. I believe that certain of our people, right, who are brothers, right, just don't want to put in the work, bro. They want our fast money. You tell me you can't work in a
I don't
convenience
think
store?
Africans by and large are like this. Like I understand this when you're talking about like British Americans. I mean, no, British people and Americans. But I think for the most part, when I mean African, they have very high work ethic. But it's kind of like, look, I'm sorry. I sound like I apologize if I sound like I'm because I don't like the behavior as well. But I really feel like they're just doing what they got to do. Like I feel like what James is saying is right. Like I'm sure that they tried all the legal avenues, but you already see what's happening with Japan. They don't want immigrants there, so I'm sure it's probably really hard if you're not a skilled worker to get a job, especially as a non-Japanese, especially as an African person. And you say, come in there, like, this is kind of the reason why I'm a little bit, like, hesitant, because you're like, oh, you have to come in, you have to have money. Well, the reason why they're coming to Japan, or they're going to Japan as an African, is because they're going to get money. Of course they're not going to have money when they go there. We're going there because we want to immigrate to their lifestyle. We prefer the Japanese lifestyle over the United States lifestyle. We're not going there for money issues. For them, they're going there to just earn a living, to earn an income, to not have to worry about crime or theft. So I think it's two different things, bro.
Okay, fair enough, bro. Fair enough. Anyone else want to call in? I'm about to end the stream in roughly 10 minutes, man. It's been 3 hours, 20 minutes. James, you plan on traveling soon, bro?
Well, you have to understand the scenario with the guy wasn't an extreme case of violence. I don't even think he even was that. He probably wasn't even that aggressive. So I mean, this is not like he probably see when you go to. I'm not sure. Like in Nigeria, street sellers are very aggressive. So it's culture. I mean, that's just how they do. As far as grabbing a hand and pulling, he probably didn't. But if you go to these countries and you're on that level, that of the poverty level, and they said you did something, they're just gonna arrest you. So there's that as well. I mean, I was gonna mention that, but you have to understand that the person, I don't know if I think it's a woman, the person that he grabbed, they're probably, if they're wealthy, or they have or they have connections, you're toast. But Asians have done far more worse in Nigeria than Nigeria did in Japan, especially China or Korea. But with that said,
James, I have the same sentiment towards China and Africa as well. They shouldn't be there if they're doing crime, right? They should leave.
Well, I mean, I know what you're saying, but this is not. I mean, this is not like selling drugs. I mean, it's not. I mean, this is like it could be a case of he said, she said.
We
but
would call this hustling.
If you are,
call this hustling.
Right. If you are stupid, and I'm just going to keep it there because you keep calling on PG, and I'm not even thinking I'm doing it. But if you are stupid, then of course we don't want you to travel. We don't want you going to another country. Keep that stupid where you are. But I just don't think that's the case here. And there are opportunities, but those opportunities are not that easy to get to. However, there is low-hanging fruit opportunities that are easily to get. You can practically go on YouTube and Microsoft websites and Google and build your own education and become very successful for free. They have a lot of there. and I know you know about it because I think you talk about it as far as IT. You can educate yourself in IT on your own for free, and then go and then find there's a lot of different licensors you can get that will just show that you know how to do what you say you know how to do. And once you do that, you can get a job. You don't have to go and get a bachelor's degree in computer science or software engineering or IT or anything like from MIT in order to get an employment job in IT. Microsoft alone has been known to hire people, and you already know this IP, just by you proving that you know how to do what you know how to do, and they help you get a bachelor's because I forgot what it's called, but there's a system of it's called like the union or whatever, where you can't even companies can't hire you in the United States for engineering of any kind unless you have the bachelor's. So what they do is they bring you on as an apprentice, and then they help you get your bachelor's, and they can fully hire you. But yeah, Microsoft does that all the time. They can bring you in on a whole array of different type of hiring systems, and you can get in. So IT has its flexibility. So and if they have access to that, that I mean, what they should do is start creating their own school communities where they teach each other this stuff. You want to know who does that? People in India. They do it. But those communities are starting to shrink because it's becoming a huge look out for yourself thing. But there's a huge problem with this right here, the extreme version of this with between a man and a woman, trying to keep it PG. You know what I'm talking about. And freaking India. And it is bad. It is really, really, really bad. And they're like known for it. It is their image is being hit with like everything. Our image, what's happening to our image is it's unprovoked. It's different. But what's going on over there, especially with the hygiene in their restaurants and that they are, it's like in Germany, poof. And also, just so you guys know, it's also in Thailand. They are pushing back on them. And you say, well, you go to Pattaya, you go to the indie clubs on there. Those are not Thai women. That is not what you're seeing. That's business. Okay, but if you go to somewhere like South Korea, they might. I don't even. If I was one of them, I wouldn't even go there.
Okay. All right. So James, where are you traveling next to?
That would be Thailand. But I got some business to take care of.
Y'all love Thailand.
Yeah, I might see you there, bro, because I'm traveling there as well. So I want to see. They changed the rules on them. There's no longer visa free for the people from the people that you were talking about.
Yeah,
to apply for a visa now, because before they made it visa free, and then the last time I was there, bro, it was like I wasn't even sure if I was in Thailand. I thought maybe I booked a trip to India by mistake. I wasn't sure. So we're gonna see what the difference is now that they've changed the visa requirements.
Their countries are pretty close. They don't even have to fly there.
How long will you be in Thailand for, Jam?
Wait, how long ago, or how long am I staying now?
How long will you be in Thailand for?
Okay, so I booked it for 2 months, but my girl can't stay that long because of the way the visa situation works in Vietnam. They can't stay as long, so I'm not sure if I'll stay the whole 2 months, but I'll be there. But I booked it for 2 months. I can change the date though. But yeah, I'll be in Thailand very, very soon, very shortly. So, like I said, last time I was there was just so. I'm glad they changed the visa requirements. Now they did that with Americans too, although it hasn't taken effect yet, from what I've heard. Although I did apply for the visa just in case, because the thing is, if they do change it while you're there, then like essentially, if you're American, I don't know how it works if you're British, but if you're American, you can stay 60 days, no problem. You don't have to apply for a visa, and you just go there. And that's what I've always been doing when I was going to Thailand. But now I believe the new laws, they changed it to 30 days. So like now you need to apply if you want to stay anywhere longer than that. So I did apply and I got my visa. This is the first time I've ever had to do that. But honestly, if it means that Thailand's gonna look more normal, like more like Thailand, like the Thailand that I was used to when I first went 4 years ago, then I'm willing to apply for visas. I'm cool with that.
Perfect. All right, brothers. How long will you be in Thailand for, James?
Oh, I'm applying for the retirement visa, man. I get to do that now. I'm not leaving Thailand.
Awesome. Okay, awesome, man. All right. I gotta head off, man. Thank you, James. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah,
thank
take
you,
care,
Jam, for chiming in. Brothers, have a great weekend ahead, and we shall speak soon, man. Peace out, brothers. Peace.